bail bondsmen around licensed on both sides of the Virginia-Carolina line, provides fast releases and affordable bail at the lowest rates allowed by law. Apex Bail Bonds, Martinsville, across from Checkered Pig, for the lowest rates allowed.
Lucy Matherly Morris, age 88, of Martinsville, Virginia, passed away Wednesday, July the 16th, 2025. A funeral service will be held Wednesday, July the 23rd at 11 a.m. at Bassett Funeral Service. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to that service. Online condolences may be made by visiting BassettFuneralService.com. Reverend Terry Lynn Moore, 68, of Martinsville, Virginia, departed this life on Tuesday, July the 15th, 2025. A celebration of life will be held Friday, July the 25th at 12 p.m. at Moore Hill Missionary Baptist Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to that service. Bassett Funeral Service is honored to serve the family. Christopher Brandon Martell Rios, age 24, of Bassett, Virginia, passed away July the 13th, 2025. A funeral was held Friday, July the 18th at 3 p.m. at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Martinsville. Visitation was held 1 hour prior at the church. North Funeral Service in Martinsville was serving the family. Mrs. Kathy White Mason, age 67, of Martinsville, Virginia, passed away July the 13th, 2025. At the request of Kathy, there will be no services held.
A narcotics investigation led to 2 arrests, the seizure of illegal drugs, and the confiscation of a vehicle following the execution of a search warrant at an apartment on Maple Drive. On July 18, 2025, deputies from the Henry County Sheriff's Office responded to an anonymous tip reporting frequent vehicle and foot traffic at 325 Maple Drive, Apartment 9, a pattern often associated with drug-related activities. Upon arrival at the location, deputies observed multiple vehicles entering the apartment complex and noted suspicious behavior consistent with narcotics distribution. A short time later, deputies initiated a traffic stop on a separate vehicle exiting the complex for a registration violation. The vehicle was occupied by several individuals. During the stop, deputies detected inconsistencies in the occupant's statements. A subsequent search uncovered illegal substances and drug paraphernalia. Based on the information, deputies obtained a search warrant for apartment number 9. Upon executing the warrant, deputies found and seized suspected methamphetamine and cocaine, as well as a digital scale, packaging material, several cell phones, and a quantity of U.S. currency. A 2010 Audi sedan was also seized as part of the investigation. At the time of the search, the apartment was occupied by Javon Mans, Robert Brott, and a third individual who was released at the scene after deputies confirmed no active warrants. The following individuals were arrested. Javon Mans, he was held without bond and was charged with possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute and possession of cocaine with intent to distribute. Robert Brott was held on a $3,500 secured bond, and he was charged with maintaining a common nuisance. All evidence recovered during the investigation will be analyzed by the Virginia Department of Forensic Science. Anyone with information related to this illegal drug activity is urged to contact the Henry County Sheriff's Office at 276-638-8751 or submit a tip anonymously to the Crime Stoppers at 36-CRIME 632-7463. A A routine traffic stop led to the arrest of 3 individuals and the seizure of illegal narcotics, including suspected fentanyl and methamphetamine, according to the Henry County Sheriff's Office. On July 17, 2025, deputies with the Sheriff's Office Narcotic Interdiction Unit conducted a traffic stop after identifying Billy Plaster as a passenger in a vehicle driven by Kevin Smith. Authorities confirmed Plaster had an outstanding for his arrest. During the stop, canines were deployed and gave a positive alert for narcotics inside the vehicle. A subsequent search resulted in the discovery of multiple illegal substances and drug-related items. Among the finding was a quantity of suspected fentanyl found in the possession of another passenger, Prince Hansen. As part of the investigation, a 2010 Mercedes was seized. All suspected narcotics and evidence has been sent to the Virginia Department of Forensic Science for further analysis. The following individuals were arrested and charged: Billy Plaster, possession of fentanyl with the intent to distribute, and probation violation. Kevin Smith was charged with possession of methamphetamine and possession of fentanyl with intent to distribute. And lastly, Prince Hansen was charged with possession of fentanyl with the intent to distribute. Officials urge anyone with information about illegal drug activity in their area to contact the Henry County Sheriff's Office at 276-638-8751 or anonymously through Crime Stoppers at 63-CRIME-632-7463. Tips leading to an arrest and conviction may be eligible for rewards up to $2,500. More updates on this developing story will continue as the investigation progresses.
We double up at Autos by Nelson, and now we're taking it to the next level. You'll still receive double the warranty on all new vehicles, but now we're offering triple the peace of mind. With free towing up to 125 miles and no collision deductible at our body shop for any new or used vehicle. It's just one more way we're tripling up at Autos by Nelson. Do you know her?
Sova Martinsville encourages men to take charge of their health starting today. Focus on 4 key areas: schedule regular checkups, eat a balanced diet, stay active, and support your mental well-being. Small, consistent steps can lead to a longer, healthier life. Whether it's hitting the gym, eating smarter, or seeing your doctor, every action counts. Let Sova help you live your best life.
Save big this summer with this exclusive offer, only available at Cunningham Tire in Bassett. Now until August 16th, you can get a $100 rebate with the purchase and installation of a set of Michelin tires from Cunningham Tire. No other local tire dealer has this exclusive offer. With over 2,700 tires in stock, you can get tires installed today. We also offer alignments, state inspections, brakes, and oil changes. Call us today to schedule your appointment, 276-629-1142. Cunningham Tire, we keep you rolling.
My name is Patrick Sharp. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Gardner, Barrow & Sharp here in Martinsville. If you've been injured in a serious automobile collision or perhaps a minor injury with a rear-end collision, we've been handling personal injury cases in the area for almost 50 years. Give us a call for a free evaluation of your case, 276-638-2455.
A routine traffic stop in Rockingham County escalated into a manhunt Sunday morning after a passenger fled the scene on foot. At approximately 10:28 a.m. on July 20th, Rockingham County Sheriff's Department initiated a traffic stop at the intersection of Barrymore Road and North Carolina Highway 14. The vehicle, a dark gray Nissan Maxima, pulled over as directed, but the passenger quickly exited and fled toward the wooded area next to Mount Carmel Church Road. Deputies responded immediately, setting up a perimeter and launching an active search in the area. The suspect, identified as Tylen Thaxton, 23, is currently wanted on multiple charges. According to the Rockingham County Sheriff's Office, Thaxton has active orders for arrest stemming from charges of failure to appear on felony cocaine possession, possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and carrying a concealed weapon, all out of Rockingham County. In connection with Sunday's incident, Thaxton is now also facing additional charges of possession of marijuana, possession of drug paraphernalia, and resist delay, obstruct a public officer. Thaxton is described as approximately 5 foot 10 inches tall and a slender build with short dreadlock style hair. He was last seen wearing a black t-shirt, blue jeans, black socks, and no shoes. Authorities warn that Thaxton may be armed and should not be approached. The Rockingham County Sheriff's Office urges anyone who may have information on Thaxton's whereabouts or sees someone who's matching the description to contact them immediately at 336-634-3232 or just call 911, or you can contact them through the Crime Stoppers at 336-349-9683. This investigation and search remain ongoing, and more details will be released as they become available.
All right, Coach Johnson, what's your main focus right now during conditioning on this off-season training? What's your main focus for these guys?
Making sure we're being very specific on the details. We're breaking down the details. We want the guys to understand the small things matter, and that's all we're doing out here. You know, is just making sure guys are understanding how to route run, how to catch a football, how to tuck a football, things that they may think they just do naturally, but we want to get it in their minds, the small things, because in a football game on Friday nights, those small things matter. Those small things lead to wins or losses. So we're trying to do that. Pressure is something that I've always been told, pressure either busts pipes, but that same pressure can also form a diamond. Which one are you going to be? And we like to think that, man, we're ready to become diamonds and handle pressure. Pressure is something that you put on yourself, and we're not doing that. We're coming out here, we're going to play a game we love. A lot of us been doing it our whole life. This is going into my 16th year coaching. Love it. And just trying to get these guys to understand, you don't worry about pressure. Pressure is nothing but what other people talk about. We're just going to go out, have fun, play this game the right way. To get better every week, my varsity guys got a lot of returners, super excited about them. And I know they're feeling a little bit of pressure they're putting on themselves because we hadn't really performed the way we know we could the last 2 years. So they got a chip on their shoulder. We're being overlooked a little bit. So they're excited about it. And I'm excited about the group I have. I have a great group of senior leaders, great group of juniors behind them. And man, we're going to have some sophomores and maybe even a freshman step up and make some noise this year as well. Always Magna Vista, Martinsville. The hometown games are always fun. You know, a lot goes into those. Outside noise goes into those games for these kids, but for me, it's fun. It's fun seeing the community get together, and it being everybody in the community comes together. There's no problems, no issues, and we just have a good time. Joy. Every day I wake up, I'm not dreading coming to my job. I love what I do, and it's because I get to come work with guys who really love being here, but I also get to work with guys who I know they might need me. And they know, hey, there are days I need them. So they bring this job, this career brings me a lot of joy. And it's all because of the kids I get to work with, the administrators I get to work for. And it's just, I love it. Even in my past job, loved it. Same thing. You know, just being in 2 different schools in this county over 16 years, it's been awesome. And I've really loved it.
It's more than just football.
It is way more than football to me. You know, football is probably the last thing on the list if I had to create a list of why I'm here. Football is probably last, but man, I find joy in this job, and I love giving glory to God through this job. So it's an awesome feeling.
Thanks for tuning in to BTW21 Weather. I'm Chad Hall. Today is July the 21st. As we jump into our weather, we're going to see it's been beautiful, partly cloudy skies throughout the day. A few scattered clouds, but all in all, a beautiful day. South side, you're seeing about 84 degrees, Boone's Mill, Rocky Mount 85, Ferrum 86, all the way down to Martinsville and Ridgeway at 88 degrees. Woolwine also about 86 degrees, and Stewart rounds off at about 85 with Ararat at 84. There is a 32% chance of some possible showers later on this evening. Now we'll take a look at later on this evening as we get into the PM hours. Temperatures are going to drop down south side about 64 degrees to Rocky Mount from 66. You'll see Martinsville and Ridgeway about 68 degrees. And we're also going to see Woolwine 66, Stewart 65, in Ararat at about 64. Again, partly cloudy skies. We're seeing about a 3-mile-an-hour northeast wind coming through, which actually feels pretty good. Now we'll take a look at our frill equipment. We'll take a look at our day overall today. We're going to give it about a number 6. Pretty good day, but we're afraid we may get some showers this evening. Not 100% sure. Again, about 30-35%, but we're going to give it a 6. Going to be highs at about 88 degrees, lows at about 68 degrees. Again, with potentials up 33-32% of potential rain showers. Had a sunrise at about 6:16 a.m. This morning. And again, those winds are going to stay around 3 to 5 miles an hour. Now we'll take a look at our frill equipment 5-day forecast. We'll jump right into Tuesday. Tuesday is going to be partly cloudy, 82 degrees. Looks like Wednesday is going to be almost identical, a little bit warmer, about 84 degrees. Thursday and Friday going to be mostly sunny skies, about 87 degrees on Thursday. Partly sunny, going to be a little bit higher, going to be about 92 degrees. Again, lows are going to be in the 60s and 70s as we roll into the morning hours. Again, these beautiful mornings in the summer are feeling really, really good, but the humidity is going to be a little bit better today, but watch out because by the weekend, that humidity is going to start climbing. So that's going to wrap it up for me. Again, big shout out to Ashbrook Audiology, also Holy Cow Ice Cream and Frill Equipment Sales. So that'll wrap it up for me. Until tomorrow.
Relationships, they are the most precious and important thing we have in life. An uncorrected or improperly corrected hearing loss negatively affects each and every one of those relationships. Did you know that you have hearing insurance benefits available to you? At Ashbrook Audiology, we are the region's go-to providers for benefits from affordable hearing care, true hearing, and many more. Ashbrook Audiology, where relationships matter, Martinsville and Danville.
We're going to take another quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. I have more news when we get back.
You no longer have to come to Lee's Tire and Wheel to have your tires installed. Come on, let's go. Let me show you how it works.
The Tana de Leon translates to the lion's den in English. It refers to a place or situation that is dangerous, challenging, or intimidating, much like a lion's lair. The phrase is often used metaphorically to describe confronting difficulties or facing formidable opponents. For example, if someone says, "I'm entering the lion's den," they mean they are about to deal with a challenging situation or confront someone powerful. So it's a vivid expression that captures the idea of facing adversity head on. So right now people can go on to samiamtheonebarber.com. It's a very detailed site, easy for booking. I'm at 62 Fayette Street, Suite 114. I'm the last suite in the building.
Looking for complete office solutions? From classrooms to corporate offices, we provide tailored designs. Get everything you need for your workspace from Bassett Office Supply, conveniently located at 2266 Ferrystone Park Highway. transforming spaces for over 50 years. Visit us today.
For nearly 30 years, Drake Extrusion offers you the personalized service and flexibility of a custom supplier. With research and development based on 2 continents, Drake is on the cutting edge of polypropylene fiber technology. We work daily with polymer suppliers to improve existing products and meet the challenge of new end uses. We not only value our products, but we also value our employees. For more information, email us at info@drakeextrusion.com or give us a call at 276-632-0159.
Hi, I'm Ginger. Welcome to Oasis Wellness Escape right here in Martinsville. We'll see you at the Oasis, located at 2559 Greensboro Road, right here in Martinsville, 276-336-3067.
Now it's time for BTW21 Sports, presented by Gym 24.
I think, we finally have a lot of experience this offseason, a lot of older guys, 4-year players, guys that understand how the process starts from beginning to end. So those guys really bought into that, and, they're here. It's been an interesting offseason already, but they've been here, they've been working. The young guys have come in, they try to hold those guys accountable, which is something we really haven't had before. That comes with experience, leadership, those things, but they've done a good job of that. They bought into the fact it's their team. A player-led team wins more than a coach-led team, obviously. So, I think that's the message we try to put on those guys for the last couple of years. They finally figured that out, and I think they're finally showing that this offseason for sure, taking ownership of the team.
We got more guys in this year. We got more team chemistry since we've been playing longer with Fielder, and we stacking on. We started from 0-10 season, then we went to 3-7. Now we're shooting for state. I said that last year, but that's always the goal. It's just really about stacking days and getting better every day.
The expectations are high. We have depth finally. We've got guys we can play different positions. We've got experience. Those things are there now. We haven't had those the last couple of years. They know that our expectations are high. We expect to be successful. We expect to win games. We expect to fight through adversity. Those are the things we didn't do in the past. We didn't stay together in tough situations. We quit when things started getting tough. We're changing districts, but the district we're going into is really tough. They're very well-coached teams, so we got to match that and be more athletic on top of that. But I do think these guys have bought into the fact that, we got to play 4 quarters, not one, hope things go well, and then if it doesn't, we quit. That's kind of been the problem here lately. But I think we're better with that. I think they understand that it's a full team concept. In the past, individuals want to get their own stats and those kind of things. Now I think they understand that it doesn't matter. The thing that matters most is having that number in a win column at the end of the day.
We've been building in the weight room, building on the field, been building on everything really, because nobody can ever be perfect, but that's what we hope to achieve in the coming up season. Physically, I think we're feeling a lot better from last season. I think we improved a lot. For me, it looks like working hard every day in practice, doing everything right, getting the little details right, just doing the little things so we can hope to achieve the big things.
Discipline. We got to increase our weight, and we can't slack off doing this, and it's all about our leaders. Like, if the seniors don't step up, then we ain't really got a team. Yeah, it's tougher, definitely. You got to make sure you up to par with everything you do. You got to be a good role model for, the freshmen and sophomores that don't really know anything yet. You really got to live to the standard,
They've come right in and fit right in. We've got a lot of, not a lot, we got a few guys that hadn't played in the last couple of years that are playing now. They've had a good impact already. The guys have meshed well with those guys, and they're tough-minded guys. That's the main thing, at least right now, when you get in the season, you'll find out who's really tough and who's not. But I think that everything's kind of meshed well together. We've got a new rule this year, 60%. If you don't make the offseason 60% of the time, you don't get to play. And I think that helps. You know, the guys that are in and out all the time, they're not here. So that togetherness is there, and those guys really, they kind of bought in. They understand that it's an investment. They put that investment in, and they work hard for it. You know, our thing is we've got the skill level, we've got strength, we got experience. We've got to have mental toughness. That's all we've talked about is mental toughness. You can't quit in the second quarter when things are tough. You can't quit in the fourth quarter when things are tough. And on the flip side of that, you can't quit when you're up, when you're winning. You've got to play 4 straight quarters of mental tough football and you know, play by play kind of situation. You can't get high when it's high. You can't get low when it's low. You got to play through that. And I think that's been our whole talk. We've got to be mentally tough. We've had a good off season. We've had guys that have put a lot of work in, but you know, all that stuff doesn't matter if you quit the second things get tough. Then you just waste your off season. So that's been our thing. Do better, get tougher. You know, we talk about grit. That's one of our main things. We don't say it all the time, but we know that's what we're talking about. Grit. You got to fight through stuff. We're a program that's going to be built on grit, and I think they understand what that looks like now. They've seen what happens. You look at last year, our second quarters in a couple games were bad. You know, we were in tight ball games early. We quit. We can't do that. Give yourself a chance in third and fourth quarter. Who knows what's going to happen?
We'll take our very last commercial break. When we get back, we'll have your Apex Bail Bonds Crime Report.
Frustrated by that crack in your windshield? At Daniels Auto Glass, we don't just fix glass, we restore your peace of mind. Our certified technicians use top-grade materials and precision techniques to repair or replace any auto glass damage. Need us to come to you? Our mobile service brings our expertise right to your home or office. Don't let that chip become a crack, or that crack become a bigger problem. We are ready to serve you. Daniels Auto Glass, clear views ahead, peace of mind guaranteed.
When you need help on the road, trust the name that's always there. Harbor Towing and Recovery, located at 6010 Greensboro Road in Ridgeway, Virginia. We're certified, licensed, and insured, ready to serve you any time of day or night. Whether it's tires, brakes, or engine repair, we've got you covered. Call 276-632-2580, and remember, in a roadside emergency, tell the police to call Harbor Towing and Recovery, a name you can trust.
Blue Ridge Aquaculture is hiring both full-time and part-time drivers. Home every other night. CDL, Class A, and 2 years of experience required. Excellent benefit package including medical, dental, vision, life, short-term disability, and long-term disability, and 401k. Apply online at www.blueridgeaquaculture.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Matilda at Maddie B's, and I invite you to come join us and shop with us. We have gifts, we have apparel, we have treasures for yourselves. It truly is a joyous place here, and we invite you to come for all your gifting needs. Join us either in person or online. Contact us at 276-694-4438. Maddie B's, where friends shop and friendships begin.
At PVT Express, we're fast, we're reliable, and we're here when you need us. From oil changes to major jobs, PVT has you covered with the best technicians in the business. Stop by our service center where our certified technicians will get your oil change done right. Visit us today at PVT Express, where speed meets service. PVT Express, done right.
Thank you for being here for your BTW21 Apex Bail Bonds Crime Report, today being July the 17th. First up, Gabriel Hernandez Bonilla, Henry County, Virginia, DUI first offense. Brianna Brunette, Henry County, Virginia, trespassing, vandalism, and threatening phone calls. Eric Hagwood, Henry County, Virginia, probation violation, felony. Michelle Duncan, Henry County, Virginia, good behavior violation. Marvin Harrison, Henry County, Virginia, public intoxication. Amy Hodges, Henry County, Virginia, probation violation 3 counts. And ultimately, Kaylee Martin, Henry County, Virginia, failure to appear. Thank you for being here for BTW21's Apex Bail Bonds Crime Report.
When you slip up, you need a bondsman you can trust at your side. At Apex Bail Bonds in Martinsville, our agents are with you at every step, not just the day you bond out. Need affordable bail? You'll get the same low rates we offer in Danville and Reedsville. Apex Bail Bonds has the only bail bondsman around licensed on both sides of the Virginia-Carolina line. Provides fast releases and affordable bail at the lowest rates allowed by law. Apex Bail Bonds, Martinsville, across from Checkered Pig, for the lowest rates allowed.
Lucy Matherly Morris, age 88, of Martinsville, Virginia, passed away Wednesday, July the 16th, 2025. A funeral service will be held Wednesday, July the 23rd at 11 a.m. at Bassett Funeral Service. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to that service. Online condolences may be made by visiting BassettFuneralService.com. Reverend Terry Lynn Moore, 68, of Martinsville, Virginia, departed this life on Tuesday, July the 15th, 2025. A celebration of life will be held Friday, July the 25th at 12 p.m. at Moore Hill Missionary Baptist Church. The family will receive friends 1 hour prior to that service. Bassett Funeral Service is honored to serve the family. Christopher Brandon Martell Rios, age 24, of Bassett, Virginia, passed away July the 13th, 2025. A funeral was held Friday, July the 18th at 3 p.m. at St. Joseph Catholic Church in Martinsville. Visitation was held 1 hour prior at the church. North Funeral Service in Martinsville was serving the family. Mrs. Kathy White Mason, age 67, of Martinsville, Virginia, passed away July the 13th, 2025. At the request of Kathy, there will be no services held. Online
to our community and to our administration, things that are going on. I'm Pam, and I am the Reed Creek Supervisor for the Henry County Board of Supervisors. I am here to facilitate the meeting, and you'll hear from your administration, most of the managers, administration from Henry County, and then also we have our delegate Eric Phillips here from 48th District. And I'll just say that I'll start off. We are going to go 10 minutes at a time. Everyone knows I'm a former school teacher and administrator. I'm fanatical about a timeline. So I'll be over here, and Tiffany and I'll be tapping my wrist and my phone, so that we move. Everybody gets 10 minutes. That'll be the first hour, and then we'll do a Q&A, and then we won't go past 8:30 for any reason. But at around 8:15-ish, then the questions and everything will be wrapping up. And then I'm sure the guys and gals will be willing to stay over if there's something personally or individually you'd like to talk about with them individually. All right, Eric, would you open in a word of prayer, and then we'll get started.
Sure. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all your blessings. We thank you, God, for this time to be together to discuss all the important things going on in our community. We just ask that your hand be upon us tonight. Give us your blessings, and let everyone take something away from here positive and make it home safer this evening. In Christ's name we pray, amen.
Thank you. And I did that to you at one other meeting, so I apologize for not.
Next time I have it written.
Yeah. All right, Tiffany. And then you mix that up. We're just going to go down. No, I apologize. You're not going first. Dale. Mr. Wagner.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dale Wagner. I'm the county administrator, and thank you for having us this evening to talk about our local government. And Dr. Cobbler was a school teacher. She mentioned that, and then she probably don't know this, but I was not a very good student, so I probably will not follow her rules. When I get wound up about the county, I like to talk, and I'll listen tonight. Okay? All right. No, but this is a great opportunity for you all to hear from us, but more importantly, I'm not going to talk my entire 10 minutes, I don't think, because I want questions at the end, because I want to talk about things you want to hear about. And I don't know what they are unless you ask me questions. So, but I'm going to start off with what I think is the most important thing that Henry County does, and then these other people are all part of that solution that we get to. So it's delivering services to our citizens that you can't always do. And one of those, the number one priority of the Board of Supervisors that directs a lot of what we do is economic development. And our goal is to create economic opportunity for our residents. Not to create the jobs, but create opportunities for our residents to be successful and increase their wealth and well-being. We do that through lower taxes. We pride ourselves at the direction of the Board of Supervisors in small government. In comparison of what we do and what we're able to do, we're a small government. Our taxes are low compared to many other localities. If you don't believe it, just check any other locality around us. Our taxes are much lower, whether it be real estate or personal property, or you pay lower taxes here than all our neighbors around us, and a lot less in the city of Martinsville and cities, and a lot less in Rockingham County in North Carolina. So we pride ourselves on keeping our government small and doing a lot with a little. But our number one priority is economic development. Some of the projects we're working on that we're really excited about is, I'm not sure if you've been down 220 right at the Virginia-North Carolina line recently and looked over to your right. That's what we call Commonwealth Business Center. Several years ago, the county saw an opportunity to purchase that property and create a county-owned industrial park. And it took many years to develop, but we're fortunate we have two premier employers there in our community now. The first tenant was Press Glass, who now has about 300 employees, and they're currently doubling the size of their facility with the intent of hiring over 600 people when their plant is finished completion. But they're already up and running well with over 300 employees. The next tenant in that park was Crown Holdings. Crown makes aluminum cans. So if you've ever drank a soda or a beer or any of those things, you've probably had a can made from Crown Holdings. Here in Martinsville, they make 8 million cans a day. All right? That's a few cans, isn't it? So, and interestingly, we went down just a few weeks ago, got a tour of their plant, and they employ 160 people, and they're some of the best paying jobs in a manufacturer setting that we have here. 8 million cans a day. They are the most efficient plant in America of all their plants, and they have about 30 in America. But they pride themselves on being most efficient. And what's that mean for us? That means our people here are great workers. And we tell companies when they want to locate to Henry County, we tell them about our strong manufacturing roots in Henry County. And most of you have been here as long as I have, your whole life. And we grew up with furniture and textiles, and we know what it means to be hard work. And that's what the fabric of our community is, and that's what we tell employers when they're wanting to locate here. We have people that work hard and show up on time and get the job done. And that's what they're experiencing there, and that's why this plant can brag that they're the most efficient of all the other plants. And they're all made the same. So the plant in Martinsville at the Commonwealth Crossing looks just like the plant in Bowling Green or Arkansas. They build all their plants the same. So it's not the way the plants are laid out or anything. It's strictly about the people. So we can pride ourselves on that. They're a great employer, great to have in the community. They sponsor many of our activities here in the community at Spifford Sports Complex and other things. So another project we're working on in Commonwealth Crossing is to lure the next big employer to our community. Is we're grading right now a 200-acre pad that will generate a 150-acre pad with all utilities in place and including rail access. And you say, why is that important? Right now, nowhere in Virginia is there a pad-ready site for an industry to locate that needs rail access over 100 acres. All right, so we will be the only site in Virginia that can offer that, and we're already getting a lot of interest in that. What that does for us is it allows us to be more selective. Okay, we can get the one that's going to be the higher paying jobs, and that's what we want. We want to create higher paying jobs to increase the the wealth of our community, not just average paying jobs. So we're going to hold out for the right industry on that, what we call Lot 2. It's a premier site. We recently got designated by the Site Selectors Guild as a platinum ready site, and that is a designation that's the only site in America that has that designation. If you want to Google it or look it up, it's called the Ready Site Program. So that since we got that designation just a couple months ago, it has really put us on the map for large industry that's looking at us to locate and build a new manufacturing facility. So we hope that generates real results for our community. Some other projects we're working on, we're meeting with a tenant now in the Patriot Center. We got a couple good prospects we're looking at there. One on Lot 4 would be a $65 million investment if we're able to land that. And then we recently signed an option on 1,200 acres over there for a future tenant, perhaps if the property will work out for them. So we got a lot of economic activity going on in our community right now, and it's interesting because we're at a unique time in the economy. I'm sure you all some of you or know people. We've had some layoffs in the community. The economy has slowed down a little bit. Some of you are probably aware that like Vanity Fair distribution, they closed down recently. Mailer closed down. So it created some unemployment for our residents, but fortunately there's still some jobs out there. So many of those were able to find jobs, or they're going to be able to learn some new skills and go right back in the workforce. And our goal is to land these new industries so we can make sure we keep that cycle going. So what we do is important, and why I say this is not too many years ago, we had all our eggs in one basket. Some of you probably worked in textiles, and when the textiles started going away, we lost a lot of jobs. So in a matter of about 5 years, we lost tens of thousands of jobs in our community. So our efforts over the last 20 years has been very intentional to be diversified, not putting all our eggs in one basket, and creating not necessarily 5,000 jobs in one place, but 200 jobs and 300 jobs. So like when a company like Vanity Fair goes, size of close, it's 180 jobs and not 5,000 jobs like when DuPont closed. So some people say, well, why aren't we getting a car manufacturer, or why aren't we getting another DuPont? And quite honestly, we think our economy will be stronger and we'll be able to grow and advance better if we seek quality employers that build the fabric of our community so it's less impactful if we have struggles or issues such, slight downturns in the economy. So that's our modalities now. So what that does, that creates opportunity for every other thing that local government does, whether it be the sheriff's office, public safety, education, administration of justice in the courthouse, those parks and recreation, we're real proud of all those programs, and we do it very efficiently. So I will stop with that.
Perfect.
And be available for questions later.
25 seconds. And then the other thing that I'd like to say is that we're also finishing our comprehensive plan for Henry County that hasn't been written in more than 30 years. I want to expand on that, but just very literally 20 seconds.
Yeah, so we're in the process of updating our comprehensive plan. It was last done 30 years ago, which is not a good thing, but we went through a lot of downturn, and sometimes you don't need to build a comprehensive plan of how you want to be if you're going in the wrong direction, right? I think we've kind of turned that corner. I think we're going in the right direction as a community, and now's the time to put that blueprint out there of how we want our community to look now and into the next 20 years. So we're working through that. There were many community meetings. There have been some online forums. I hope you had the opportunity to participate in those. But there's quite a few more meetings scheduled with the Planning Commission, the Board of Supervisors, and then some feedback from the community sessions as well going forward. So we look forward to accomplishing that during this 2025 year.
So I am Tiffany Harrison, the Commissioner of Revenue. Can anybody hear me in the back? I'm a little low sometimes. You hear me? Good. All right, so just to take you a little bit about what we do in our office, and then I want to touch on the upcoming reassessment, because that's very important. So I want to spend most of my time on that if I can. I like to tell everybody that, you know, we operate out of the state code and our local ordinance. So we don't create any ordinances or laws or anything in my office. We simply just follow them. We use Article 7, Article 10 in the Code of Virginia. So if ever you want to look at any of our ordinance and stuff, that's where it is. So we're in 7 and 10, and then 46.2. So my job is to be fair and equal and uniform with all assessments. So I can't, you know, look over here and go high for whatever reason, and then somewhere else I want to go low. So I have to be uniform across the board in the way that I assess. For businesses, we do have business licenses in our office. They're due March 1st of every year. I did bring some pamphlets for businesses, real estate, the reassessment things over here that's sitting in front of me if you like to pick up any of that before you leave. So our meals tax is due on the 20th of every month. Same thing with the occupancy tax. Business licenses is due March 1st. Personal property, it's who owns it on January 1. So if you got rid of it January 2nd, you're still responsible for the tax that year. So that's very important. If you get rid of a piece of property, please let us know. We don't have communication with the DMV. They don't tell us if you move, you know, stuff like that, with the post office. So you have to communicate that your address is different, your mailing address is different. You know, if you got rid of your boat, your trailer, whatever your personal property is. We have a big issue because we don't have updated information sometimes. So that makes a big log jam when the bills go out, and we send out over 44,000 bills, and then everybody's calling because, you know, they don't have something anymore. So just please keep that in mind. So with personal property, you do have an appeal process. You have 3 years to appeal an assessment if you don't agree with it. And so what you do, you just come in and say, hey, you know, I don't have this vehicle or something when you tax me for it, but that's a 3-year period. After that, you know, we can't change the assessments, but that is your option. So if you notice, hey, I've been paying on the car for a couple of years, don't have it, we can go back 3 years. So some people didn't know that, so I like to tell everybody. Also, we offer tax relief for elderly and disabled and veterans. So, like I said, I have pamphlets on that. So some people may qualify for that. We have land use program. Everybody gets personal property relief. It's called PPTR. You'll see on your bills it's called a state credit. So it's different for everybody, but everybody does automatically get that if your vehicle qualifies. So that's good. All right, so now I want to just talk about our reassessment that's coming up. So everybody knows we've been working on it for the past 2 years since I took office in 24. I inherited it from 23 when they began doing some work on it. So our notices is going to go out January 1st after the new year. So that's when you'll get your notice with your new value. When you get your notice, you know, we have 15 days before we can start doing appeals. So we'll do appeals from middle of January to the end of February. And then we'll also have BOE hearings in April of next year. And then after that, it'll be finalized going into July 1. So you'll get your real estate bill in 26, and it'll have your new value. So our training that we've done in our office, we've done IAAO classes. We've done fundamentals of mass appraisal, real estate property appraisal 101. We've also taken general reassessment classes, land use classes, tax relief classes. We've attended symposiums and all trainings through Virginia to make sure that we are, you know, up to standard, up to code, and assessing things properly.
So you've been given, well, I say given, just apologize for my terminology, but your office has more, you've hired more assessors, I guess that's the right way to say it.
Well, we have 3 assessors in our office full-time, and we had 2, I believe, but we did have 3 positions, and we did get a position back from the state comp board, and we made that a real estate position. So we have 3 real estate appraisers in our office. We have 2 real estate tax clerks who help us with our land use program and tax relief. And then we have 5 people that work in personal property and business. So that's the staff. So it's just 3. I think we've always had around about 3. So for reassessment, so it is something that is state required. No one in the locality, we all have to do it. It's not an option. No one's, saying that, hey, we got to get this reassessment done. Nobody's saying anything like that. It is a state requirement that we do have to feel. Our assessments have to be 100% fair market value. We have to use proper state assessing guidelines. We just can't come up with values that we want. So, we have to be fair market value.
Can I interject while you're doing that? Because that's all true, and it's in the state constitution.
Yes.
And I would say one of the challenges we face is obviously, just like we've seen in another locality nearby, I don't think they were always done close to fair market value.
They were not. Our properties have historically been assessed very low. And then we also reassess every 4 years. So every 4 years, you're taking a bigger jump. In 21, we had a reassessment. Values barely changed. They barely went anywhere. So some people didn't even notice we had a reassessment. So it's really going to be a big jump for those people. And that's just to get it up to, like I said, fair market value. So I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So, some of the things that we consider when we go is the physical, status of the property, whether it's improved, deteriorated, dilapidated houses, the external obsolescence, like if it's near a farm, those houses may not be as desirable as a house that is not near a farm because you're not smelling farm stuff every day you walk outside. Your year build, we do use sales as one of our factors. It's not our big, huge driving force. Year build, depreciation, all of those things. For like apartment buildings, we use income approach for those. So we send out stuff, collect some data, compile that data to come up with a fair value for those. So you do have an appeal process, just like with personal property. This one's a little shorter though. So when you come in, you have 3 steps that you can appeal. You can appeal to my office, you can appeal to the Board of Equalization, or you can appeal to the Circuit Court. Once that's the steps. Just us, BOE, then Circuit Court. If you go straight to the BOE and they don't agree with you, you can't come back down to me and appeal. So you can go through each step, but if you skip a step, you can't go back down. So that's important to remember. So the way our appeals go, when you come into the office or over the phone, we'll read a statement saying, hey, we're here today, blah, 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 and now it's your opportunity to present your case. So you just tell us why you don't agree with it. There's not any particular documentation that you need. Someone asked me that once. Just whatever you think could work in your favor is what you bring into us, and then we'll consider it. And we won't give you a decision that day because we like to discuss it with everyone. But then we will send you, we'll mail out your final determination of your value. And when you come in to appeal, it can increase, decrease, or stay the same. We had one person call us and tell us they got rid of a building. We went out to look, and 5 more buildings there. so if you think you're winning, don't call us. So she wasn't happy. But we do have a couple of people that is making sure. We got David Barnett from Agar Associates. He's a general Virginia licensed assessor. So I send up our practices and what we want to do and how we're coming up with our formulas to him, and he says it's great or it's not, it meets standard or it doesn't. So he's checking us as myself and everybody in my office. It's our first time doing a reassessment, so we want to make sure that we do it right. And we also got Josh Myers. He's helping set up our neighborhoods and our districts and our tables. and making sure that our data is good and consistent. And so that's going to be the two people that's helping us. So we do have like door hangers we put out. We do code red, Facebook posts. We try to get the word out in neighborhoods and where we are as best we can, but it is, a little difficult, but we do try and put an effort there. So that's my time. But yeah, afterwards, if you have any questions on the reassessment or anything, just please let me know. I mean, we do know it's a big deal coming up, so just give us some grace next year, please. I would say.
Hello, everyone. I am Tiffany Harrison with an IE from the Henry County Treasurer's Office. I am here to talk about the change in due dates for real estate and personal property bills. Once the Commissioner's Office, they do their assessment and the billing goes out. So effective July 1st of this year, the real estate bills are going to be due October the 1st. And to avoid any penalties, you have until October 31st, which is a change because it's normally December 5th. For personal property, they're going to be due December 1st, I'm sorry. And to avoid any penalties, you have until December 15th. And with that, there'll be the 10% late fee will be added to it the next day. So I have some handouts that you can take with you, put them on your refrigerator if you like, or just wherever, you can see it. And that's all I have.
That's perfect.
So.
That's all new information.
Yeah.
Everything that you give knows, we just changed all that. Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome. Thank you.
And everybody, have you heard that Matt has announced his retirement? Everybody shaking their head yes.
What worked for you?
I'm trying.
Jerry, you know him well.
He knows from experience too.
And this, by the way, doesn't mean that everybody else gets extra. I've got 2 guys over there, 3 guys actually. I'm gonna give that time to.
Okay. So as Dr. Cobb already said, my name is Matt Tatum. I'm the Director of Public Safety for Henry County for about 60 more days, not that I'm counting. But I want to talk to you about the Department of Public Safety and emergency services in our community. So quite often I get asked what is the Department of Public Safety? And the easy answer is if you call 911 in Henry County for anything other than what Sheriff Davis brings you, it's coming from my office. All right. We have 8 amazing volunteer fire departments, 4 amazing volunteer rescue squads that serve our county. They all work in conjunction with the Department of Public Safety, and we do have career firefighter paramedics that are also on duty 24/7 serving our community. And just to give you just a little bit of data, I've got some brochures up here. All this thing I'm going to be talking to you about is up here available for you in writing if you would like to carry it with you. 2024, I know we're almost halfway through 2025, but 2024 obviously is the last calendar year that we have data to go for. Henry County had over 2,000 fire-related incidences and over 8,500 calls for service for a rescue squad or an EMS service. That's over 10,000 emergency calls. That is very busy. And there is a lot going on with emergency services. And so how can you help? You hear I was talking to a gentleman earlier about volunteerism. Sounds like y'all have got a great group of volunteers here at Oak Level Royalton. But I also feel like if you go back a few years, I remember that wasn't necessarily the case here. So y'all have done a great job. So I want to know what you've done because we need that in our volunteers with our fire and EMS. This is a trick question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How many of you have a valid driver's license? Raise your hand. All right. I think there was enough hands to match the car, Sheriff, so I think we're good. But those of you that just raised your hand with the simple 16-hour class, you're half the crew. All right. Sheriff Davis can be the best paramedic the world has to offer, but if he don't have nobody to drive him in the ambulance to get him to the call, he's no good. All right. You can have the best firefighter in the world. If the truck don't get there with the water on it, there's nothing they can do. And I'm not exaggerating. A 16-hour class with a valid driver's license, you can drive that fire truck or you can drive that ambulance and be half the crew. So tomorrow, I expect to see all of you doing applications to volunteer with our fire department's rescue squads. I mentioned that we have 8 incredible fire departments in Henry County, and in this community, you're served predominantly by Bassett Fire Department, and Collinsville Fire Department is the next due to them. I am extremely proud of Bassett Fire Department because we just recently went through an ISO reevaluation. What ISO does, it scores all the fire suppression capabilities of a community, and it gives that fire department an ISO score. So why is that important to you? The lower your fire department's ISO score is, the lower your homeowner's insurance premiums are. So that is impactful to you. The scoring system is a 1 to 10. 4 is the absolute best that a volunteer fire department can get. And to my knowledge, I've never heard of a volunteer fire department getting it until this year. Bassett Fire Department is an ISO rating 4. That is an extremely great accomplishment. The rest of our fire departments in Henry County are 5s. We've got 1 that's a 6, and primarily because they're so rural. But that is huge accomplishment for Bassett Fire Department. Another thing I want to talk to you about, we've had a lot of changes in our office. At the first of the year, our fire marshal retired. Lisa Garrett had been our fire marshal for about 8 years, and she retired. Kai Cooper is now the fire marshal for Henry County. He hit the ground running, doing a phenomenal job. And Kevin Hendricks was promoted as an EMT firefighter to the assistant fire marshal. So there's some changes in our office. July 1st, we will be adding another crew during the daytime hours. We currently have staffing for 4 crews during the day and 4 at night. That's with optimal staffing. As you know, oftentimes you have people on vacation or sick or something like that. So the minimum staffing we have is 3 crews during the day and 3 at night. Come July 1st, we will add another crew during the daytime to help with the call volume with that. One other thing I wanted to bring to your attention, before I get there, another role that our department does with public safety is emergency management and helping when the disaster comes, more importantly, helping prepare for the disaster. And we're getting ready to wrap it up, but it's something I'm very proud of. As about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, we was able to secure a $3.2 million grant with 0 match required to put generators in every fire department in Henry County. The rescue squads already had them, and we're also putting a generator at Bassett High School and Magna Vista High School with this grant service or grant program. That was whenever you can bring dollars in from somewhere else and we don't have to match it, that is a win-win all the way around. So I've been asked before, why did we choose Bassett and Magna Vista? They're the high schools, but they're also our primary points of sheltering should the community ever have a disaster and need to shelter. We've got an agreement with the schools. We can use any of the schools, but the high schools are obviously the biggest, and they have adult-sized facilities. Okay, you go into an elementary school, you may or may not want to be using the kids' restrooms. Okay, and then Ms. Hairston, the one on the end, mentioned earlier Code Red. So if you need us, you call 911. If we need, and that's if you're having an emergency. If we need to notify you that there may be an emergency in your community that you don't know about, or if we need to notify you of a boil water notice, or if we need to notify you that the assessors are going to be in your community, please don't shoot them. They're doing their jobs. We use Code Red. And what Code Red is basically it's a reverse 911 system. You have an emergency, you call 911. If it's backwards, we want to notify you, we use code red, okay? Every landline is automatically in the database. We don't have many landlines anymore. Everybody's went to cell phones. So we don't have a cell phone database. You have to register your cell phone, okay? And I've got the information up here on how to register that. You can easily go to the county's website, henrycountyva.gov, and there's a link there called Code Red. Click on it and it'll walk you through the steps of how to register. It's free, okay? There is an app that you can download for it. The app's not free, but you don't have to have the app, okay? And once you go in there and register, you can choose what type of notifications would you like to receive. Whether it be weather alerts, whether it be boil water notices, community messages or whatever, you can choose what you want. So we don't bombard you, we don't spam you, we don't call you all the time, but it is a very useful tool. I know the sheriff's office has used it during missing person situations or crime incidents or something like that. We've used it before. If you've ever been driving through somewhere and your phone goes off for an Amber Alert, okay, it's very similar to that, and that we have the ability with this system to activate that system as well, because that's based on geofence. So if someone from California is driving up 220 and we've got something going on in the Oak Level community, when they get into that area, their phone would be pinged if it reaches to that level. Now, they're not going to be told a boil water notice, okay? But if there's mass murderer running up and down the streets or something like that, then they hopefully, or a missing person, they might be notified of that. So again, I have brochures up here for you with call data, statistics. It is countywide data and a lot of the different things that we have going on with the organization, and also how to sign up for Code Red. And I will stick around after everyone's done should you have any questions.
Matt,
yes.
Please, in 30 seconds or less, you worked with the Delegate Phillips on the billing for the fire department. Will you just very, very quickly mention that?
Okay, so we had the emergency services or rescue squads has been billing for services since 2010. And that predominantly is, we use what we call a compassionate billing. They're only billing your insurance, okay? Billing laws require, once insurance is paid, that we notify you of the balance. But if you would take a crayon or something to write on it, unable to pay, mail it back in, it'll go away, okay? We're not going to take you to collections. We're not going to take your firstborn child or anything like that. We predominantly want the insurance. July 1st, we will start doing the same thing for the fire departments, okay? It's not nowhere near as much potential revenue, so please, please, please don't stop supporting your fire departments through donations, through their fundraisers and stuff like that, because they're most definitely going to need it. Early estimates, we're thinking this might generate somewhere between $3,000 and $7,000 for a department for a year, okay? So it's not a large amount of money, but it is money that we're leaving laying on the table. You're already paying your homeowner's insurance premiums. There's a $500 fee in there for fire suppression at your home. If we don't bill it, or if the fire department don't bill it, they don't get it.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's a small thing we can do for fire department, and we appreciate Delegate Phillips for getting that passed. Thank you, Matt.
You done anything like? Have you done anything like?
A little bit. Good evening, everyone. I'm Wayne Davis, the sheriff here in Henry County. And before we get started, I'll give you a few fun facts about your sheriff's office. So as of July 1st, after working with the county administration, we'll be taking over medical services, terminating our medical contract with a provider. Why are we doing that? We're going to provide a better service. We're going to save you, the taxpayers, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. But those additional employees takes our full authorized strength number, over 250 employees in the Henry County Sheriff's Office. Looking at numbers published by the Virginia Sheriff's Association, there are 123 sheriff's offices across the Commonwealth of Virginia. That puts us the 8th largest overall, and we're believed to be the 2nd largest full-service sheriff's office in the entire state, second only to Loudoun County. They have 900 sworn, so we're way second. So when I say full service, not a lot of people understand the role of sheriffs across the Commonwealth. not all sheriff's officers are designated as full service. Some sheriffs only do courtroom security, serve civil process papers, and maintain their jails. We do all of that, plus we are the primary law enforcement agency here in Henry County. So we are classified as a full service agency, and a rather large one in the terms of sheriff's offices here in Virginia. So what do we do with all those employees? Well, on the law enforcement side of the house, they answer on average anywhere between, on a good month, a low end month, about 2,800 calls for service across Henry County. 364 square miles patrolled by, some nights, depending on the mental health system, as little as 4 deputies. On a great night, 7 or 8 deputies patrol this entire 364 square miles. On a high-end month, we're answering 3,500 to 3,600 calls for service. So that's our call volume range. Low end, great month, 2,800. High end, about 3,500, 3,600 calls for service in a 30-day period. In addition to that, we're serving thousands of civil process papers. We're maintaining 3 courtrooms to ensure that they're safe and secure. And we're housing about 250 inmates in the adult detention center every single day. So we stay rather busy. Most people expect when I get started we're going to talk about drugs. Well, we will, but being our geographic location, I'd be remiss to not begin by updating this community on the Jennifer Short case. So it's right out the street here. A little unknown fact, I was a relatively new patrol officer when this took place in August of 2002. I was the first responding patrol officer to that house. It was my 911 call that I received, and I was the first one there. So I've been with this case since the initial 911 call. I later oversaw this case and looked into it as an investigator. I managed this case as a lieutenant of investigations. Again, when I became the captain of investigations, I reformed a new task force. It's still in existence today. That task force was formed in about 2022, and it comprises members of the Sheriff's Office, the Virginia State Police, and the FBI. And so one of the things we were able to do by reinstituting that task force is we secured federal grant funding to retest every single piece of evidence that could potentially yield DNA evidence with today's modern technology. As we speak, there are pieces of evidence related to the Short family murder at a private DNA lab in Florida right now, being retested with the world's most advanced DNA technology. So, can I make a promise to this community we're going to solve it? I cannot. What I can tell you is we will never stop looking. Not tomorrow, not ever, as long as I'm the sheriff. I have one investigator who's primarily assigned to the case, who works on it in some capacity every single day. And I have another that's a backup. And one of the things we've done with that task force is we brought in younger, eager people that had some experience, but they had no knowledge of the Short case. We like to refer to it as fresh eyes. So we literally set down boxes and boxes of files. Up to 20,000 interviews have been conducted in this case. And said, here they are. Read them and see what we missed. And I can tell you these guys have taken this on and they've done a great job. So this community and this county needs to rest assured that we will continue to work on that case until it's solved. All right, any questions? I'll hold off to questions to the end. So I want to start with that because I know it's near and dear to this community. So the next thing we'll talk about is drugs. Everybody's primary concern. I can't go anywhere without hearing a complaint about someone's loved one or friend or family that's been affected by drugs, or someone's community, even the county administrator's community. So it's everywhere, my own personal community. And so we've worked hard. I took over sheriff July 1 of 2023. In the last 22 months, we've executed nearly 80 narcotic search warrants, including 2 last week. And so some of them high-level drug dealers yielding large quantities, some of them low-level drug dealers. But the moral of the story is they're all drug dealers. And it doesn't matter how much they sell. If it's one pill, that's one too many. And we absolutely will not tolerate it, and we'll continue to work on that. So with the addition of some personnel that the Board of Supervisors and the County Administrator facilitated last year, we established the Sheriff's Office's first narcotics interdiction unit. And I can tell you it's paid dividends. Since July of last year, they have personally been responsible for several of those search warrants and the seizure of tens of thousands of dollars worth of narcotics, tens of thousands of dollars worth of cash, assets, and vehicles, not to mention how many drug dealers they've locked away for transporting. So thank you to the Board of Supervisors for that. Narcotics will always remain a top priority to me because it affects your quality of life here. So in addition to working on the drug problem day in and day out, there's a lot of good people in this community, just like yourselves. And unfortunately, most of the time people run into someone from the sheriff's office, it can be the worst day of their life. We've tried to change that trend and that culture too. From within, we've revamped some internal personnel to try to make things more efficient, and we've established a community engagement unit. We have 3 people assigned to the community engagement unit, and their sole purpose is to get out to our community. Day in and day out, they go out, they check on issues in your community, whether it be grass or trash. We've always done that, but we've tried to enhance those services. While they're out doing that, they stop in at our local businesses and see what their concerns are, check on them, see what problems are in the community. And one of the biggest things is they'll attend hundreds of community events throughout the year, whether it be the Smith River Sports Complex, the River Fest. They may appear at the Cruise Inn. We do 1 or 2 churches every weekend where we teach them things about fraud. We try to work with our elderly community, so we've really tried to extend our outreach to talk to the good people of the community, to keep you informed on what's going on, keep you educated on the most recent scams, talk to you about securing your homes and properties. And so we really want to just build good bonds with our community. And we can't do that by answering 3,000 911 calls, because oftentimes you call 911, you're not really interested in building a relationship. You got a problem and we're there to solve it. So we're trying to really engage the community in all facets. And I'm sure everyone saw it on Facebook. It's a hot topic. There are 2 Mustang GTs assigned to my community engagement unit. And people say, why do you have those? Because those cars will attend hundreds of community events a year. And so you say, why do you need those? When we attend events with youth, we have a large number of at-risk youth in this community. And we have a hard time bridging the gap to get them to engage us as law enforcement officers and talk with them. But what I can tell you I've seen already is we park one of those cars front and center, and we have kids coming from everywhere. They want to take pictures in it, they want to see it, they want to look at it, and it gives us an opportunity to engage our youth, particularly our at-risk youth. It's a tool that we would have not otherwise had. And I assure you, I try to be a good steward of your tax dollars, and we make fiscally sound decisions. What people don't realize is we actually bought those 2 Mustang GTs cheaper than I could have bought 2 Ford Explorers through the bid process. We put those out to bid. We bought those for about $43,000-ish a piece. I can tell you a police-rated Ford Explorer today is closer to about $48,000. So we actually save tax dollars by purchasing those. Our deputies are issued a car, they might as well be issued that one, because that's their specific job. So if you have any questions about those, please let me know. Please come out to one of our events and check them out. So far, the community loves them. They're beautiful, they look great, and we're thankful to have them.
Thank you.
Is that my time?
It's your time.
I'm sorry.
Of course, you know I'm hesitant to ask the sheriff to sit down.
No problem. I'm an elected official, I can talk all day.
That's right. Well, first of all, I saw Dale show up in this coat and stuff, and I felt a little underdressed, but I was on an excavator this afternoon and ran out of time, lost track of time, and scurried on over here. So it's good to be with you. I'm Delegate Eric Phillips. I represent the 48th District, which is the vast majority of Henry County, the vast majority of Pittsylvania County, and the entirety of the city of Martinsville. And I was elected 2 years ago, so I have a re-election campaign coming up this November. And I was elected in a special election the night before session began. So I found out roughly 7, 8 o'clock that night that I won. Luckily, I'd already hired an assistant, rented an apartment in Richmond, drove up there that night, got sworn the next day at noon, and started on the floor. My first year went pretty good. I ended up number 7th ranked member as far as effectiveness according to VPAP's batting average. They give us all a batting average. So that was pretty good for a guy just showing up on a wing and a prayer, which is how I've lived most of my life, and it's worked out pretty good so far. But I like to tell everybody when I got there, I'm looking around this beautiful building, you know, the state capitol and all of the history and the things you think about Thomas Jefferson and all the different people that have been in there. And I'm looking around that night about midnight in there by myself, and I'm thinking, man, you know, how did an old boy from Blackberry get here? And I met my colleagues the next morning, and I thought, dear Lord, how in the world did some of them get here? So it was kind of downhill after that. But, you know, we heard over 2,200 bills in 45 days. So I could talk till next week about all the different issues in the state of Virginia that affect all of our families and affect particularly this community. But I'll give you a few. By the way, Sheriff, if I ever do decide to change careers, I want a job with the Mustang. But AEP, anybody want to talk about their power bill? Or not want to talk about it? Well, I can tell you who doesn't want to talk about it. It's me. But no, AEP, listen, we're very well aware of that. We sponsored legislation. We actually had them come here to Henry County, their entire team, to discuss with it. They understand the pressure that everyone's feeling and that, frankly, they're feeling. And so we did get some legislation passed this year that allows them to securitize some assets in West Virginia, which means basically they can pay down their debt. They can take that interest money, give it back to you and me on our bills. We also made it where they can't raise rates going into the winter season. They have to freeze their rate and not be able to raise it right before you're going to pay the most all year. And there were several other things that are a little more technical that will hopefully by this summer begin to take place after July 1 that will bring your bills down. I will tell you on the political side, frankly, one of the problems is we have the Virginia Clean Economy Act, which requires them to get rid of coal-fired plants, decommission them. I know all of you love solar as much as I do, and wind and all these other technologies. But when you take the most efficient, cheapest way to make power and say you can't use it anymore, well, your power bill is going to get up. But you can thank our friends in Richmond for 25% of your bill, roughly. I asked AEP, I said, quantify to me how much of my bill is, you know, caused by government decisions to go green. And it took them about 2 months, but they did the work, came back to me and said roughly 25%. So you could say $25 out of every $100 is because of bad government. And so one of these days we'll hopefully be in the majority again, and I can tell you, I hope my colleagues don't beat me to it. I would love to see that repealed and some common sense restored so all of us pay a little less for power. But until that day, we're kind of stuck with it. We're going to have to work around with them as much as we can to work on that. But I can assure you it's top of mind for everyone in this region because we certainly heard from our constituents about it, and rightfully so. One of the other things, I know it's a high priority for Dale and for Pennsylvania County, for this whole area that I serve, is to protect local authority on making land use decisions. And what I mean by that is there have been bills the last 2 sessions that would say Henry County says no to a solar farm right up the road here on 220. It's 1,000 acres, somebody wants to do it. The county says it doesn't meet our ordinance standard, we've got too much of it in this area, and we're going to vote it down. They have legislation that says we want to, from Richmond, be able to come in and say, well, we don't really care what you say, Henry County. We think it's a good idea because we want more green energy. And they could override the Board of Supervisors, a 3-judge panel in Richmond who've never been to our communities, and do it anyway. And so luckily, we've been able to defeat that 2 years in a row. We will see it again this coming year, and it's a big deal for communities like ours. Pennsylvania County that I represent has more solar farms sited, sitting on the ground today, than any county in Virginia, and they hate them. Drive through Climax sometime, and just imagine if they get control and take away local control, that'll be Henry County too. And that's not what any of us want to look at every day, right? So these are important, big issues that I need your help fighting against. Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor, got 220 right here. Before I got elected, I was a member of the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor Committee. It's been headed the last 2 or 3 times by people in Martinsville and Henry County. Jim Frith originally, then Jay Dickens. Now it's headed by Haywood Fralin out of Roanoke, but it's a regional group for regional prosperity, and mainly it's to improve the 220 highway from the Carolina line all the way to I-81. And the Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor area, it starts at Blacksburg and ends at Danville. And what it is all about regional prosperity. We have the Commonwealth Crossing, we've got the Patriot Center. Also in my district, I have Berry Hill Mega Park, which is the largest mega park in the state of Virginia. And so we want to be able to get all of those trucks that are going to be making all these goods as we continue to grow and continue to have new industry up and down 220 a little safer. I call it the Dukes of Hazzard project. We're going to flatten some hills and straighten some curves and make it easier to transport goods up and down. I don't know if you get beside of those double trucks going down 220, but it'll help your prayer life a little bit. So I think it's important for this area to get that done. And I know the county and all the surrounding areas are huge proponents of that, and we want to thank all the local businessmen who've been involved with that. Public safety, we've got to figure out a way at the state level to fund volunteer fire departments at a higher level. You know, volunteerism is down just in general, whether it's the Baptist church or the volunteer fire department. It's just harder to get people out. People are having to work a lot, make money, make ends meet, and pay their bills. And you got these guys who are working full time, taking time away from their families, having to have catfish dinners every other weekend just to keep the lights on, and we've got to do something about it. And we've got to figure it out from the state money, because frankly, we've got a bigger pot of money than the county does. And all it does when we take and push unfunded mandates, I keep looking at Dale because I know he's a big fan of these unfunded mandates, because then he's got to figure out how to pay for them. But we've got to figure out a way. We've got plenty of money in Virginia that we waste, that should be going towards public safety. If we can't keep ourselves and our homes and our children and our families safe, then what are we really doing? And so that goes for EMS, it goes for police. We need to have a fully funded by the state SRO in every school, right? I mean, am I right here? I mean, these are just common sense things that we can easily do. You know, common sense dies quick in politics. You know, it seems like the easier the bill is, the harder it is to get it passed. I'm thinking, how can people disagree with some of these things? But I promise you they do. So public safety is a huge issue. Law enforcement, you know, Sheriff Davis Wayne and his group do a great job. I actually did a ride along with one of his officers, and that particular day he had 4 officers covering the whole county. And I can tell you, I felt like I was a better driver than that officer. I won't mention his name. But a couple times when we got over 100, I thought, man, I wish I was driving. This guy's scaring me. But I mean, you got a guy on one side of the county getting ready to commit suicide, and you got something happening it was just one place to the next, crisscrossing this county. And it just boggles the mind that we don't think that we need to take care of these men and women at a higher rate than what we do. So we appreciate what you do. We also appreciate what all your public safety folks do. It's not an easy job to do the things that we're asking these folks to do. Quickly, Dale mentioned, he stole my thunder, obviously, about economic development. You know, obviously a lot of that money that's doing that grading out there came from the state of Virginia through the governor's site plan. I think, $16 million of it? Something. 22 million, even better. So, you know, all these things flow through us. And I will say, you talked about taxes. Henry County, I was at a presentation in Pittsylvania County, and they did our entire region, and they did it at the state level. Henry County actually has, I think it's 3rd lowest taxes in the state of Virginia out of 132 localities. And Pennsylvania County, I think, was 6th. I think they were a little better on fees. I don't know what those fees are, but maybe look into that. But overall, we're well positioned when you look at all the other areas in the Commonwealth. So, you know, there's a ton of things out there. I think jobs solve a lot of problems. Education, good education, well-paid teachers. The governor this time, I think, had a historic budget. You know, people always ask me about the budget. It's this big, and then there's a supplement that's this big. It's a couple thousand pages, and we get 48 hours to review it. So there's always things in it we don't like, and there's always good things in it too. But I'll be happy to answer any questions, because I think that was my noise to stop.
And I saw that our chairperson of the Henry County School Board is here, Teddy Martin. Teddy, is there anything you'd like to say or address the crowd?
Well, just like you, I represent Reed Creek. A lot of the folks in this room know me, signed my petitions, known them for many years. Been on the school board here for starting my 9th year. We've got a lot going on. It's graduation week, so hopefully, I don't know if you've got kids, grandkids, etc., anybody else in the family to recognize there. So certainly want to say we want to recognize that. We're in the process of updating, and of course, I want to recognize we got Mr. Champarty representing Ridgeway here in the room as well.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to my
Champ, do you mind standing just so everybody? Do you mind? Thank you.
Everybody knows Champ.
Yeah, okay, everybody knows Champ.
But we're in the process of updating our strategic plan every 5 years. Started a Henry County Schools Education Foundation, serve about 7,000 children in this community, more than 1 million miles in the buses. Try to keep them under 100 miles an hour. No issue with sharing all that. I get calls if they think they went faster, but anyway. But yeah, those are the main things. But if you ever need anything involving Henry County Schools, feel free to reach out to your local school board member. If you're here, it's me. If you're Ridgeway, it's Mr. Hardy. But thank you very much.
And then Brad, would you and your dad stand up, please? Brad Smart, would you and your dad stand up?
Sure.
This is Brad Smart, and I was at his plant yesterday, which is just over the hill, and we talked a lot about economic development. I told him that, I reminded him about this meeting. I told him Mr. Wagner would be here and that Eric would be here. And then I just said, if we had a few minutes, which we do, if you just give us a brief, quick presentation. I know we speak about the big companies and all the money that we are spending on economic development. And then you and I talked about how y'all have had your business here for all of these years, maybe 40 years again, just over the hill and not forgotten, but I just thought I'd ask you to come and be recognized and just give us a quick introduction if people aren't aware of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm Brad Smart. My wife and I own Rockwood Specialties. We're on Rockwood Park Road. We've got a 70,000 square foot facility over there. I don't know how long you guys have been here, but it used to be that originally it was a Rockwood dance hall. Back. And my father purchased it in 1985, started Compton Wood Products for J.C. Compton, and we've grown over the years, expanded to now we've got 70,000 square feet. During that time, it was Compton Wood Products, we had Gregory Wood Products there, and then we took over Serenity House Cabinets in Fairham, and we moved the operations here. Since then, we've experienced some major growth. Approximately, take out the COVID years, about 20% a year on average. We employ about 32 people, more on payday, less on Monday. You know, we've grown over there really in spite of any help that we've received, really. We're fortunate to be in this area. My family has owned Smart Machines, we've owned Compton Wood Products, now we've got Rockwood Specialties. We're over here. Currently, we're looking at doing our next expansion, so let me back up a minute. What we do is we manufacture custom case good for the construction industry. One of our biggest recent accolades, we did a hotel at the casino, 320 rooms. We did all the casework in the rooms, we did the spa, the pool area, we did all the guest rooms with the wet bars, all the trims, the crowns, the casings. So it was a very prestigious project for us. And matter of fact, as far as I know, we were one of the only companies in this area that participated in that project. So
You're talking about
we
the
were
casino,
really proud.
you're talking about Caesars and Danville.
Caesars
You had
and
that
Danville.
contract. Do you mind telling us what the value of that contract?
It was a $3 million contract.
And then you listed
here.
off
5 miles
yesterday,
away.
maybe 5 or 6 multi-million-dollar contracts.
Yeah,
that you've
this is, I don't know who can see this, but I've got several brochures I'd like to share with you guys. But yeah, we're growing and we have continued to grow. COVID set us back a little bit, but we're currently looking to spend another $500,000 at this facility here, and we've got some major frustrations. Internet service, the city of Martinsville actually in Oak Level, Virginia, stepped up and helped us with our internet. If we didn't have the city of Martinsville, we would be operating this business over here with no internet. They came up, Brightspeed, which at the time, I'm not sure what they were called, several things, but currently it's Brightspeed. They basically said, we are not invested in the infrastructure of rural communities. Forget about it. So that was a dead end. Unfortunately, we found the city of Martinsville. They came up, put us a tower. We have a direct line of sight to their wireless tower. That's the only way we've got internet. In today's market, 80–90% of your business is done on the internet. And we have no landline. We have no water. The road, we have 53-foot trailers coming in and out of that road several times a day. The road is not made to handle 53-foot trailers. And in spite of that, we just continue to grow there. And the main reason being, my family owns that business. Owns that property, and it's a family business. We don't want to move anywhere else. You know, Mr. Wagner, we hear you stand up and talk about all this new industry, all this money being spent, but I can tell you, as a local business owner, and I talk to a lot of them, we are frustrated that you guys, nobody seems to come out and see what we need. We spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on an industrial park, and we got people 30 miles other end of Henry County that need all this help, and we don't know where to get it. Fortunately, we had Pam that came in, and the prior supervisor got virtually no response, but Pam's come in, and she's really helping us, hopefully. So anyway, we're wanting to grow, continue to grow here, and anything we can do to get you guys to come see us, understand our story.
And thank you for coming out, and just to recognize that we have a very successful, prosperous company just over the hill, and just wanted you to have an opportunity maybe for a Q&A or speak to some of the individuals afterwards.
We appreciate it. I very much appreciate your service. We really do. We just need a little bit of help. To not have internet, to not have water. Our insurance company doesn't want us insurance over there because we have no water. We're not within 12 miles of the fire department. So we're hoping we can get a little exposure, talk to you guys. We're right off the 220 corridor. What did you call it, Eric?
Blue Ridge Innovation Corridor.
Yeah. So, we're here and we want to grow here. I think a funny story, I called down, I don't want to mention her name, but asking for some help. What can you do to help us? And the gentleman told me the only way he could help us is if we moved. If we moved to industrial park.
Or to Franklin County.
All right, thank you, Brad. And Mr. Wackdale, do you want to respond at all? At the internet, I know that we're working on the internet, and then I think after we'll respond to that. If you have a question and you are comfortable, you can stand, and you're comfortable standing, would you go ahead and stand just to make sure that everybody can hear you? Okay.
And thank you, Mr. Smart, for that information, and we'll be in touch for sure. The broadband project. A few years ago, we received about $33 million to build out broadband to our rural parts of our county, and that project is going fairly well, but it's going a lot slower than we had anticipated. So far, a little over 100 miles of fiber has been run throughout the county. Unfortunately, it's not been to Rockwood Park Road yet. And I say that, follow up some of what Mr. Phillips said, we're at the mercy of Appalachian Power, because this fiber has got to be hung on the power poles to get it to Rockwood Park Road.
Can I speak to that? So, to your point, as he's saying,
so it's taken a lot longer than we expected it to.
The federal government gave a ton of money for rural broadband, and it always flows through the state to the locality. There was an issue with all power companies worried about load on their poles. So we had to have a pole attachments bill to be able to force some of these companies to allow them to attach to their poles. So it has been delayed, and I don't know what the schedule is for different parts of the county. That'd be more of a question for him, but there's actually state money that's doing that, and it is specifically only for rural areas, and it has been slow in coming because you couldn't get all of the utility right-of-way folks to cooperate because it's their pole. So anyway, back to I'm sorry.
Like the internet went up to Sleep Safe, but it stopped there. They've got fiber run up to their plant. Sleep Safe, which is 2 miles from us.
Yeah, I'm not familiar specifically with that situation. I think they're provided through Comcast, but I can't speak to that.
And then the other thing, I think I failed to, we got stripped of the enterprise zone. That plant was at one time designated an enterprise zone where we could get some benefit. That was taken away by somebody or some entity or governing body.
Yeah, and I'd have to research that. I know there's a limited number of acres on the enterprise zones. They have to be resubmitted every 5 years to the state for approval. I don't think it's General Assembly approval, it's Department of Housing and Community Development has to approve those every 5 years. And the acreage changes based on, there's some complex formula the state uses based on giving up a portion of the tax revenue because it impacts the state as well as the locality. So depending on where those acreages are is how many you get. And those most recently have been focused on the larger industrial parks that's making, significant capital investments such as, the Commonwealth Crossing and Patriot Center. Those are the big two enterprise zones. And typically when we're looking to lure industry and not trying to disrespect or anything, we try to take care of our existing businesses by keeping our taxes low. And we're trying to invest in new industries to come here so we can provide the needed funds and capital investment in our community for fire department, sheriff's office, education, those types of things. When we're looking at incentives for new business, on the local level, we really look at the capital investment because the only taxes we have control over in Henry County is the real estate tax and the personal property tax. So we can't give incentive to a company if they're not investing into our community. And I'm not saying that's your case. That's how we generate. The state looks at the number of jobs they create because if your payroll tax, all that money goes to the state. So that's how the incentives are generally determined when we're recruiting an industry. Local looks at the capital, state looks at the jobs, and we're able to build a formula based on that. So let me give you kind of an example. Crown Holdings was a $165 million capital investment. They get 5 years of incentives. So after 5 years, they'll be full taxpayers in Henry County, which will generate about $3 million in taxes. And that's quick math in my head. I might be wrong. But it takes 5 years to generate that. So you have to think that the investments we make there will pay dividends down the road when we're able to invest further into our critical pieces of government that we do, schools and education, public safety, those types of things. But then the other piece is it creates jobs for our residents, good paying jobs, with benefits and the like, so they can support themselves. So that's kind of how we look at incentives, and Mr. Smart will be happy to talk with you and provide very similar incentives and talk about how we can make it successful for your business to be successful here, and we want you to stay here.
These incentives go out, and then the companies come in. There's numerous examples. 5P, Master Brand, they come in, they get all these benefits, take all this money, and then they exit the scene after all they pay. So Master Brands, 100% of that incentives was recouped. It took a while. So all our performance agreements are after the fact now. You don't get the incentive until you do what you say you're going to do. So like, for example, we hadn't given any money to Press Glass yet. They got to do it for 3 years before we'll write them a check. Crown Holdings, they hired 160 people on day one. So they got a portion of their incentives day one. But they have to make the investments. They have to do that. And once the building's built, it's taxed till the building's tore down. So whether they're there or not, they're still taxed. But we fixed that. I wasn't involved with those, but the early ones there was some struggles with those. But people before me went to Ohio, they put liens on the buildings for Master Brand, and they collected every penny of that plus interest over time. It just took longer than we expected. Now all performance agreements are performance-based. You don't get the money until you do the performance. No, I'm not trying to be controversial here at all.
I appreciate you coming very much, and we do absolutely, we want to and we will support you. I think with the time that we have left, and I want you also, when everybody's dismissed or whatever, exchange communication, exchange contact information with Dale and with Eric.
Sure.
Anyone else? Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming.
coming.
Thank you for coming. All right. Any other? This is the Q&A. Do you have any questions for any of the panel, including myself? Anything that you'd like to ask? Okay. If you are comfortable standing, that. Thank you.
Wait, is this for companies?
Just a question.
Community.
Yeah, community.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
okay, yes, that's right. My name is Cynthia Machuga. We're new to the area. We've been here on Oak Level for 2 years, and started to become good friends with some of our neighbors, and it's been nice getting to know quite a few of them. A little bit ago, I was mowing the track with a tractor on the side of the road, as we're kind of close to a curve, and there was a tractor trailer that, like, good thing we were both just barely in our lane, and I was kind of realizing as I was talking to a few others that there's a little bit of concern that they're going really fast. There's a lot of Jake brakes. There's a lot of, and it's a very small road. There's not like a huge place to turn to get off, and I was just wondering if there's, can be looked into to see how many, if there's a lot of them that's coming and going. I don't really know, but we're down in a holler, we're around a curve, and we were like,
Are you referring here on Oak Level Road? Yeah, I've talked to some other residents recently, and apparently one of the manufacturers that is kind of in the North Bassett Philpott area has changed their mode of operation. They shifted some of their distribution to the Philpott area, and as a result, more trucks are coming up Oak Level, around Philpott Drive up Oak Level Road to go north, where they used to be located in Bassett, and they would go out 57 and come up. So it's been a shift in their operational why there's more trucks on your road now than probably what it was when you moved here.
So are they going to widen the road?
Well, I've communicated those concerns with the Virginia Department of Transportation, and they were going to take a look at it to see what can be done. Building roads and widening roads is very expensive and not easy, and it's outside the limits of local government. We don't manage roads in Henry County, but we have taken your concerns already to the Virginia Department of Transportation. So, and we can continue to lean on them and our state folks to put more money to road dollars and that kind of thing. But I hear you, and we've also had some conversation with that company to see if they would be willing to go back to their other route where they go out 57 instead of coming up Oak Level Road, because it is a narrow road in several spots.
Anyone else? Any of the panel? Okay.
To speak to what she just said, yes, we live on 606. It's not designed for truck traffic.
No.
And the trucks go pretty fast. And this lady said about the Jake brakes, and like so, the road's all pieces anyway. It needs repaving right now.
So on 606, are they cutting through Henry and coming back out?
I think so, yeah. It's Griffith Lumber for one, and Timberland Mulch, and the same person may own both. The Griffith Lumber is in Woolwine.
Yeah, that's
those
totally
are coming
different.
out of Furrow.
Yeah, those are a totally different company than I was thinking of. I wasn't aware of that.
I think they do the log cabin. I got the FedEx trucks. Philpott drops the FedEx.
You're not gonna pass it here.
I wasn't gonna name any company.
Get what I said.
It's 8:15, and does anyone else have any questions that you're comfortable asking as a group? Any other for any of the panel? Chad, you have.
One of the ladies right here, are they gonna still mail out the papers where you can fill it out that you have sold a vehicle or truck?
They did that in the past, but it cost a lot of money to mail those out. We sent out over 44,000 bills. So we mailed out those. It cost a lot of money, and people didn't send them back. I wasn't in the office then, but I remember in 23 I was in IT, and I did get a call from my predecessor, Ms. Love, and she said, I don't think she got 1,000 back out of the 44,000 she sent down, and that's a big cost. So I don't know what to kind of do for that, because I don't like to waste money, but I don't know what the solutions are for it.
So what would be the best process if you have gotten rid of a vehicle or a bike or something?
The best thing you can do is either notify us, but just make sure that you it's removed from your name in the DMV, right? If you sell a car from me to you, and then I don't go and retitle it, then you get the bill. So you want to make sure that you get a bill of sale, because you can always bring your bill of sale to me and then I can change it that way. But I can't change it just because you told me you sold a car. I have to have something. Like I said, a bill of sale was the DMV. We can look into their system to see who currently owns it and kind of the DMV history of the car. So just make sure, you know, that you do those things, or just, like I said, contact us with a bill of sale.
We do have the option now to pay everything online. There's a fee. There is a fee, but we do have the option of online payments now.
Yeah, and always, if you think about it, in the middle of June or somewhere, sometime, call and say, hey, what cars do I have? What do you have that I own? You can always call and check. But yeah, I think it's, you know, I wish we could mail something out, but if we're not gonna get the majority of them back, it wastes a lot of money. I think the last bill was, like 14,000 or so it's not a little bit of money.
So with everything being online nowadays, why can't you create a form that's online that can be filled out?
Well, we can, and then you can send it in, but I mean, that's a lot of
why would we even need to
people
send it in if you create it online and have a database that's online? Why would it need to be sent in to anywhere?
Well, we can do that too. I mean, people, everybody don't have online. Everybody's not on the online, so I mean that can help some people.
I mean, everybody has a telephone now. Yeah. I mean, most everybody has a telephone with internet service. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean they do. I'm not
disagreeing. I'm just saying that's just a simple.
Yeah, we can do it. I mean, that's a great solution.
But you have to have proof, though. You said you needed either.
Well, I mean, it's just basically if you come in and you say, hey, I got rid of this car last year, you know, it's nice. We need to have something that say you sold it. Now, if you fill out one of our forms and say you sold it, like in the past, that's fine. But we need something that says that. We can't just take a verbal conversation, because then, you know, we remove it all. We have to have documentation for why we've done an abatement, because we have to keep that research for 6 years. We can't, you know, it says backs up every single action that we do. But yes, I can create a form and you can submit it to me or print it, mail it, fax it. We still do fax. So yeah, I could do that. That's a good solution. So thank you for that.
Okay, last call for questions. Okay.
Patriot Center seems like it has a lot of empty buildings there. We just lost Donica, another one. But we're going to purchase this land to build more buildings. So we're not been able to get people to come in, the ones that sit empty now.
It's unfortunate Nautica did close, and the fortunate thing is it's a good deal on a building right now. We've actually worked with the real estate agent for Nautica, and we've shown it about 15 times in the last month, so I don't expect it to be empty long. To be there about 25 years, the building's in excellent shape. It's well maintained, well taken care of. We haven't bought any land since 2007. So I don't know exactly what you mean when we're talking about buying land, but we're marketing those empty buildings as well, just like we are the vacant lots. Now, one of the industry we're working on now, we showed them those buildings. They wouldn't work for what they want to do, so they're contemplating building a new building, and that's the struggle sometimes with the older buildings, with modern technology and modern machinery. An older building can't always be modern manufacturing, and we run into that a lot. Sometimes the ceilings are too low, not the case in Nautica. The ceilings are too low, the ventilation is not right, they're not conditioned, depending on the space and stuff. They have to be built custom for whatever operation they're doing. So it does create some problem, but we do market the older buildings as well if a company's interested. We've shown the Kimball building, we've shown the Nautica building recently, and the Mela building recently. So, does that answer your question? Thank you.
Love the discussion, love the openness, and this is why we're here. All right, Tiff, have one more thing, and then we'll close after this. And then if you have a question you'd like to just like meet and greet or a question, I think we've told the Generosity of the Oak Level Royaltons that lights out at 8:30, so we are approaching it.
Yeah, so I'll be quick. So, I'm sorry, I had a brain moment, but we do have something online called the Personal Property Disposal Form. So we do have it. So go online on the commissioner page. We do already have it, and we do print it off, put it in our research that we do that. That does not look at all like what you've got, but it's very quick. I think it's probably like 4 or 5 things you have to put on it and submit it in. So we do that. So I'm sorry. But I do want to say something about the notices that's going to go out. By state code, we have to put your old value, new value with the current at the tax rate that we have today. Every year the board sets the tax rate. They're not going to set it until after you get a notice. So you're going to see it. It's going to be a big shock to you. But it may look a little different months coming down the line, okay? So just keep that in mind, okay? You're gonna get all of that information before any rates are set.
You said that's coming when?
It'll be January after the 1st. So it's gonna be a happy new year, and then.
So we get one more round at the lower assessed
You
value.
do, and that is due to our wonderful board of supervisors who allowed a 1-year extension. Because it was due this year, 25, so they extended it out 1 year to give us more time to get it done.
I do have one more question about the personal property. Why is it due at the 1st of December? As like for, I guess that's for your vehicles or that personal property, not the real estate.
That would be a treasure question.
I mean, because that just seems to me to be the hardest time of year to hit somebody with. Well, I don't know about most people, but I pay a lot of taxes. I mean, I got a lot of vehicles, but that's my fault. I mean, you know.
Yeah, we separated the real estate and the personal property bill, so it won't be so much taxpayers at one time.
And you can always pay early, right?
Right.
You can pay it in July.
That's what I do.
Well, I'm not thinking about paying you guys.
If it's a problem paying December, you can pay it in October.
But I have cards here if anybody wants a card, and we have good information up here. And thanks for coming.
Looking for a meal that's worth the drive? Come on down to the Ridge at 342 Cherokee Camp Road in Breedsville, North Carolina. We're open Fridays through Sundays. Order supper from 5 to 9 with our famous salad and char bar. Sundays, dig into our all-you-can-eat buffet from 11 to 3. Reservations are recommended. Call 336-432-6722. The Ridge, a destination worth the drive and a meal you won't forget.
Martinsville and Henry County, do you want to be a trendsetter? Shop local, eat local, spend local, enjoy local. Martinsville and Henry County, it takes you to set a trend.
At Autos by Nelson, we value our customers, so we sat them down to get their double take.
I have been a customer since I was old enough to drive. What I love about Autos by Nelson's service program is they offer the Auto Advantage now, and so not only do they still double my warranty, but they offer free towing and they will pay my collision deductible if I use their collision center for my repairs. I love my new vehicle and I'm so excited to have it for years to come.
Do you know the signs of a stroke? May is National Stroke Awareness Month, and Silva Health is here to keep you and your family healthy. Remember the warning signs. If you see face drooping, arm weakness, or speech slurring, it is time to call 911. We offer a higher level of stroke care as a certified primary stroke center. With local certified stroke care, you can live your healthiest life. Are you at risk for stroke? Take our stroke health risk assessment at silvahealth.com/stroke.
Shop local. The Martinsville Henry County Chamber of Commerce and the Chamber's partnership for Economic Growth wants you to shop local. Did you know for every $100 spent in a local store, an estimated $68 remains in the community? When you shop local, you're supporting your community and keeping your dollars here in Martinsville Henry County. So remember, shop local throughout the year, support the assets and treasures that we are fortunate to have, and be a champion for your neighbors and your community.
At PVT Express, we're fast, we're reliable, and we're here when you need us. From oil changes to major jobs, PVT has you covered with the best technicians in the business. Stop by our service center where our certified technicians will get your oil change done right. Visit us today at PVT Express, where speed meets service. PVT Express. Done right, done fast.
For nearly 30 years, Drake Extrusion offers you the personalized service and flexibility of a custom supplier. With research and development based on 2 continents, Drake is on the cutting edge of polypropylene fiber technology. We work daily with polymer suppliers to improve existing products and meet the challenge of new end uses. We not only value our products, but we also value our employees. For more information, email us at info@drakeextrusion.com or give us a call at 276-632-0159.
At Autos by Nelson, we value our customers, so we sat them down to get their double take.
I've actually been a customer down here at Nelson's since 2017. I told them the budget that I needed to be around, and they actually worked with me to get me to the payment that I needed. This was the first vehicle that I purchased, brand new with 0 miles on it. Now has 156,000 miles on it. I would definitely recommend anybody coming down here to Nelson's.
New College Institute is a premier educational facility for students, businesses, and the community at large. Expand your career opportunities by getting certifications in advanced manufacturing, technology, healthcare industries, and much more. NCI now offers GWO certified training in one of the fastest growing industries, wind energy. You can also earn your degree from one of our partner Virginia universities, all while staying close to home. Get started today and let New College Institute help you achieve your goals.
Now introducing the Bassett Signature Package. With the addition of the horse and carriage as a transportation option to the cemetery, this package allows the family to add a level of elegance at an already difficult time. Call or come see us for all your pre-need and at-need concerns. Bassett Funeral Service, 3665 Ferrystone Park Highway, 276-629-1770.
At Sova Family Medicine Martinsville, our providers, along with their compassionate team, are ready to provide your entire family ages 2 and older with preventative and sick care. There are many services provided such as hypertension, acute illnesses and injuries, annual, school, and sport physicals, diabetes and chronic medical conditions, and so much more. We are now accepting new patients. Our hours are Monday through Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Silver Family Medicine of Martinsville is located at 110 Commonwealth Boulevard West, Martinsville, Virginia. You can call at 276-666-7328 or visit silverphysicians.com.
Welcome. I'd like to welcome everybody here today to the 2025 Business Appreciation Awards Luncheon. My name's Scott Prilliman, and I serve on the Board of Directors for the Chamber of Commerce as the Vice Chair of Economic Development. It's an honor to serve here today as your host and to welcome you to the festivities today. Today we gather not just to celebrate the achievements of leadership, of the Leadership MHC 2025 cohort, but to recognize the lifeblood of our rural communities, our small businesses. In communities like Martinsville, Henry County, it's the small businesses that keep our communities alive and thriving. They are more than the storefronts, they're the fabric that ties together. As former U.S. President Calvin Coolidge once said, the business of America is business. But in our communities, we all know that small businesses are the soul of it. They create jobs, offering meaningful employment and stability for local families in places where opportunities can be scarce. Small businesses can provide a reason to stay, to grow, and to give back. They fuel our economy, keeping dollars in our hometown, supporting local farmers, service providers, and tradespeople. As journalist Paul Hawken once said, local businesses are the backbone of a healthy economy. When we shop local, we are voting for the kind of community we want to live in. Small businesses bring essential services. They fill in gaps with determination and heart. They give back, sponsoring youth sports, town festivals, school fundraisers, and emergency relief efforts. They don't just do business, they build community. Mr. Rogers once reminded us, look for the helpers. You will always find people that are helping. In rural America, many of those helpers wear aprons, tool belts, or stand behind the counter. They embody innovation and resilience, finding creative ways to serve local needs, whether it's a family turning a century-old barn into a wedding venue or a young entrepreneur launching a tech business from a kitchen table. Today's honorees represent the best of that very spirit. To our small business owners, thank you for your grit, your generosity, and you don't just make a living, your commitment makes a difference to this community. Congratulations to each of our award recipients. Your impact goes far beyond your business. It reaches into our homes, schools, and hearts all across the community. We also congratulate you, the graduates of this year's MHC program, Leadership MHC program, who represent the best and brightest of our community as well. Your commitment to your personal and professional development here in Henry County and Martinsville will leave a lasting impact. At this time, I would like to call Joni Temple up to the podium to give invocation.
Thank you all. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you. We thank you for this opportunity to come together and to celebrate these businesses and community members that are growing and helping our community just thrive and grow. Lord, we just thank you for each and every business and family that's represented here today. Father, we just thank you for this food. We ask that you bless it to the nourishment, strength, and health of our bodies. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Scott.
I think Brunel and Kimberly are going to tell us how to get our food now. Who's going to lead the way on the tables?
Hi, I'm Michael Sigmund, Lease Tire and Will. It's the end of the school year. You guys are getting ready to graduate and move on to your career and start your college career, whichever you choose to do so. Why not do something fun for graduation? Start things off with a new set of wheels and tires, whether it's the big mud tires or something really cool like a low-profile tire and some bigger rims, something chrome or black and milled. We've got it in stock. Let's do something exciting for you.
When you need help on the road, trust the name that's always there. Harbor Towing and Recovery, located at 6010 Greensboro Road in Ridgeway, Virginia. We're certified, licensed, and insured, ready to serve you any time of day or night. Whether it's tires, brakes, or engine repair, we've got you covered. Call 276-632-2580, and remember, in a roadside emergency, tell the police to call Harbor Towing and Recovery, a name you can trust.
Get ready for summer with Cunningham Tire and Bassett. The 50th anniversary deals continue this month, just in time for that Memorial Day beach trip. Right now, get up to a $160 rebate with the purchase of select sets of Firestone tires, or up to a $140 rebate on select sets of Bridgestone tires. You can get up to a $100 rebate on select Hankook tires, and up to a $70 rebate on select Cooper tires. If you're on a budget, we have tires for as low as just $10 down, and a large selection of used tires too. Don't sweat in your ride this summer. We offer vehicle air conditioning service and repairs, along with brake service, oil changes, alignments, and state inspections. My name's Jamie. Give me a call today. Cunningham Tire, 276-629-1142. Cunningham Tire, we keep you rolling.
If everybody would, please continue eating as we move forward with today's program. So don't hesitate to go back and get more food, get more dessert, but we want to go ahead and get back started. Before I introduce our keynote speaker, I'd like to recognize a few people that have joined us today. Some local officials here. Up front, we have Mayor L.C. Jones, Vice Mayor Kathy Lawson, and Councilman Rayshawn Gravely. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I'd also like to ask if the CPEG and Chamber board members that are present to please stand to be recognized. Thank you all. We are delighted to have such a distinguished speaker with us today. As the Vice President of Workforce, Economic, and Community Development at Patrick and Henry Community College, our speaker plays a critical role in driving economic development, fostering business growth, and promoting prosperity throughout our region. A native of Henry County, Virginia, Rhonda Hodges has responsibility for leading the entrepreneurial division of the college with oversight of all career credit offerings, professional and workforce development, customized training, community development innovation, and entrepreneurship programs, career services, and public relations and marketing. So just a couple of things there. So it's a mouthful. She also has a key role in building and maintaining strong working relationships with regional employers, economic development organizations, chambers of commerce, workforce development boards, and other workforce entities. Rhonda currently serves on the West Piedmont Workforce Development Board, Martinsville Henry County Economic Development Board, Go Virginia Region 3 Advisory Council, and is a graduate of Lead Virginia Class of 2022. She holds a bachelor's degree in marketing management from Virginia Tech, a graduate certificate in leadership and management, and a Master of Science in Human Resource Management from the University of Maryland. I would be remiss if I also didn't recognize her family who's joining us today, her husband Dean, and one of her daughters, Nicole. Her daughter Kristen was unable to join us today, so welcome. Please help me in welcoming Rhonda as she comes to the podium. Afterwards. We'll do that later. We'll do it afterwards. She forgot to tell me.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry. I'm vertically challenged. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you, Scott. I appreciate that. And I want to thank Brunel for inviting me to speak today. We've done some really good work together through the years. And as many of you know, I am retiring from Patrick and Henry Community College as of July 1st. And small business development and leadership development are close to my heart. I've been teaching in the Leadership MHC program for more than 25 years and have been involved with Startup and Grow since their inception. So I'm very honored to be able to speak at this celebration. And a celebration this is. So we are going to focus on the positive and the possible. Our word of the day is doable. Everyone take just a second and say it with me. Doable. Now, I know some of you are thinking that's not very inspiring or motivating, but I'm hoping to convince you that doable is in fact a fantastic word. The dictionary defines doable as able to be done or attained, achievable, possible. I think doing what is doable is foundational to producing change, which is ultimately the purpose of leadership. So I want to put forth a question for all of you to think about. Those of you who have participated in Leadership MHC will be very familiar with this question because we use it in the visioning discussion. But I think this question, applied correctly, helps us get to what is doable. And here it is. What is something that is impossible to do in your department, your organization, or your community, but if you could do it, would fundamentally change your department, your organization, or your community? Now, if you take this question and you don't focus on all the reasons it's impossible and it won't work, but instead you begin to brainstorm how to do it, how you would go about it, what resources are needed to make the impossible happen. Then you will find what is actually doable. That's right, asking and working toward what is impossible will help you identify what is possible. Doable is also the foundation of what we call the success mindset and teach in our entrepreneurship boot camps. This success mindset is based on the principles of effectuation developed by Dr. Sarasvathy with the University of Virginia. Hard for a Hokie to say. Dr. Sarasvathy studied thousands of entrepreneurs to determine common traits that made them successful and then put these together into these principles. And fortunately, she made the principles fairly simple to understand and remember. The first principle is called bird in the hand. This means identifying and building on what do I know, who do I know, what do I have. So let's think about some of the birds in our hands, Martinsville and Henry County. What do we have? Well, we have entrepreneurial DNA, and we have for more than 100 years. What I think we tend to forget is that most of those large employers we had during the heyday were homegrown startups that were scaled into large global businesses. Back in 1902, what was Bassett's bird in the hand? Land and wood. They started a sawmill providing wood for furniture producers and then decided why not just make the furniture? And thus began Bassett Furniture Industries and then pretty much all of the furniture companies that were here. Very similar stories in the textile industry. So we know how to start businesses, and perhaps for that reason, we have so many resources to help small businesses. Folks, we have an entrepreneurial ecosystem, that's the buzzword, that is the envy of other communities. How do I know this? Because they tell me, and they want to replicate it. We have the Chamber of Commerce and CPEG that sponsor programs like Startup and Grow, the Economic Development Corporation, Longwood University's Small Business Development Center, PNHCC's Dalton Idea Center, the City of Martinsville, Henry County, the MHC Minority Business Consortium, and the ecosystem continues to grow. I'm sure I've missed some, and for that I apologize. But we actually have so many resources that we have added a business navigator to assist our small business with accessing and utilizing these resources. Those are a lot of birds within our hands. You know what else we have? We have entrepreneurs who are willing to take a chance and start their businesses here. Since 2016, we've had more than 350 graduates of the Startup and Grow programs, many in this room, and more than 100 new businesses have started. A definite bird in the hand for this community are our youth and our young professionals. We must find ways to keep our youth here. And we have been very fortunate recently to see an uptick in the number of young professionals that are returning or moving into this community. And we must engage them in leadership roles. So those of us who are seasoned, perhaps we have a little gray or a really good colorist, shout out to Julie at Uptown Bellas, we need to engage them and guide them and mentor them. And most of all, though, listen and be open to new ideas. We must welcome young professionals into leadership roles within our community. I'm so excited about the YOPRO group that is meeting locally. And if you are between the ages of 25 and 40, and they tell me a little on the fringe, on either side, and you're not connected to the YOPRO group, then I would encourage you to see Valerie Harper or Sarah Hodges and get connected to that group. Now, to our young professionals in the room, before you start saying, you tell them, I do have a word for you also, and it is also listen. Before you okay boomer us or whatever it is now, take a moment to realize that we have learned a few things along the way, too many of them the hard way, and we may be able to help you not take that same route. My favorite principle of effectuation is the crazy quilt of partners. Dr. Sarasvathy based this principle on groups of women in India. Each woman would have a piece of material, and they would come together and put their pieces together into a beautiful, crazy quilt, and then sell that quilt to support their community. This goes beyond networking. It goes to partnership for mutual growth. And we are piecing together a beautiful, crazy quilt in Martinsville and Henry County. I'm going to name a few, but there are so many examples. One that started in the boot camp program was between Samantha with Oakstone Health and Nutrition and Jenny Yates with Four Rivers Counseling. During class, they immediately got this concept, and they understood the physical, the partnership, the connection between physical health and mental health. And I can't tell you how many workshops, events that they have done together. I also think of the co-marketing with Josh from the ground floor and Devin of Gill's Fitness Training. And how Natalie with Rudy's Girl Media literally lifts everyone else up with her Hometown Hustle series. And then there's Adam with Daydream Photography, who, as I share with him during the recent startup boot camp, may just be the thread that pulls our crazy quilt together with his beautiful photography and his passion for this community. Now, the next principle is lemons to lemonade. All of us are handed lemons sometimes. In this world, you will have trouble. But success comes from what you do with those lemons. I had a former mentor who said that some people love their lemons and they like to hold on to their lemons. Some people lead with their lemons. You know what I'm talking about. All the problems, the things that have happened, the reasons it won't work. But the success mindset says that we must make lemonade from our lemons. So how do you make lemonade? Well, first, you have to put the lemon down. Then you cut it open and you squeeze the juice out of it. And finally, you pour on the sugar. So what is our sugar? Well, that is when you go back to your bird in the hand. What do we know? What do we have? So let's look at a couple of examples. One lemon I hear a lot is that we don't have any good restaurants. And the example I always hear is Cracker Barrel. Now, don't get me wrong, I like Cracker Barrel as much as the next person. And if I want to go, I can get to one in about 30 to 45 minutes. But I also know that the true flavor of any community is in their local cuisine. And we are blessed, really, with many great restaurants and food trucks. Oh, yes, I'm looking at you back there. So, when I count to 3, I want each of you to think of right now your favorite local restaurant or food truck. And when I count to 3, I want you to call it out. All right? 1, 2, 3, go. What? I'm not sure I heard anything twice. I mean, everybody had an answer of a local restaurant. So now you've got some sugar when you get that lemon, right? Let's do another one. There's nothing to do around here. Really, I spent a week camping on Philpott Lake last week. It was great. Rooster Walk, anybody heard of that? Is coming up later this month. There is an active community theater. There are breweries. There are games. There are trails. There are museums. The list goes on and on. So again, I'm going to ask you to think of your favorite local place or activity. And I'm going to count to 3. And I want you to call it out. 1, 2, 3, go. Trails. Oh my gosh, we're everywhere. All right. So now we're making lemonade. All right. So now when you get these lemons, you've got your sugar. And then the final principle I want to talk about is pilot in the plane, which means that successful people focus on what they can control. Is anyone familiar with Stephen Covey's Circle of Concern? Stephen Covey wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he talks about 3 circles. There's a small inner circle, slightly larger middle circle, and then a really large outer circle. Well, the large outer circle is our circle of concern. That's everything we care or think about that we don't control. The news, traffic, the reactions of other people all fall within our circle of concern, but it's really large and it's a key source of our worry. The circle of influence, that middle circle, is everything we can indirectly control. Relationships with family or coworkers may fall into this circle. We can try to help, but ultimately we don't have direct control. And finally, the circle of control, that small inner circle, are things we can directly control. When we get up, what we say, what we do, those are within our circle of control. Now, where do you think we tend to spend most of our time and energy? On that large circle of concern, worrying about those things. However, the pilot in the plane principle says that successful people focus on that small inner circle, that which is doable. So I hope that I have convinced you that the key to success in business, in leadership, in our community, is to focus on and achieve what is doable, and that it is a pretty inspiring word after all. I will leave you with this thought and perhaps a call to action from a picture that has hung in my office for more than 25 years now. It is called The Essence of Today. I expect to pass through this world but once. Any good I can do or any kindness that I can show, let me do now, for I shall not pass this way again. Thank you.
I now know which gift to give you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rhonda. The Martinsville Henry County Chamber of Commerce has offered the Leadership MHC program for a number of years. This year's program invited 21 local leaders or aspiring leaders and representing 13 local companies and organizations who embarked on a 7-month commitment to learning more about the organizations, government offices, and nonprofits that service our community. In addition, the program also included a leadership assessment, facilitated leadership topics, and a team capstone presentation to address a local challenge in our community. If you were a speaker at this year's cohort, would you please stand so that we can thank you for your time you poured into this investment? So here. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to invite Amy Eggleston, one of our program facilitators, to present our 2025 graduates of the Leadership MHC.
Thank you so much. It has been my honor to watch this amazing group of talented individuals grow within our program. The passion, commitment, and eagerness to help our community has shown through each one of you. Thank you for being a part of our class and community and for taking initiative to help it grow. We will begin with Angela Allison. Kimberly Clark. Either way, whichever way you want to go. Carly Cockrum. Either way. Greta Cooper. Monica Flora. Corey Hart. Tanya Hodges. Whichever way you go. Okay. We'll go this way. Congratulations. Thank you. You're welcome. Jess Jarrett. Congratulations. Susan Laws. Check. Almanza Martin. Congratulations. Trevor Martin. Christopher Meeks.
Guys, welcome back to the freaking channel. We have some really cool stuff happening this weekend for you. We're going to be covering. We are here at Rockingham Dragway for Dig or Die. And we're about to just get it started. These guys are drawing chips right now. There's tons and tons of cars here. So it's be some really cool racing, all no prep, all no prep, no prep down in the bottom. So tons and tons of cars here today. And throughout the weekend, we got, right now, let me tell you. So right now, today, starting in about few minutes probably. We have big tire, 26, we have late model, we have low budget nitrous class. So all those guys will go right now after they get done drawing chips, and the racing will be ending tonight. And then in the morning we have even more racing. So super cool event. I'm super glad to be here. Glad we got invited. Cool spot down here. You may know Rockingham County Dragway and Speedway all the way at the top, but we are on the very bottom side. So all backside, no prep. Here, we show you the track here. So you probably can't see, but all the way back there is the Dragway prep side, and all the way back here is where we are going to be racing today and tomorrow. So right now we're going to go show you some cars, show you a little bit what's here, what is about to run, maybe talk to a few guys. So let's get straight into the freaking action.
You know the rules, but we're going to go with them anyway. Matter of fact, we appreciate y'all coming out. Out here on at the track, burnouts. One burnout. Unless that burnout's a scratch, and everybody knows what a shitty burnout is. If you look at me and I see smoke from that car and you think it's a crash burnout, if I see smoke, it's a burnout. Everybody understand that? If you got a question on your burnout, look at me. I'm in the middle of the track the whole time. I give you a thumbs up, thumbs down. Turbo guys, if you need to bump in, I don't care if I see you 500 times this weekend. Let me know that you're bumping in. That way there's no confusion. If I don't know how you're going to stage your car and you pulled in that line, that means you're ready to go. I don't care if you're on the boost or not. You pulled in that line, you're ready to go, I'm sending you. Somebody don't tell me you're bumping in, not my fault. Blame me.
Wait. It's Jay's too hard, right?
Yeah, what's up?
think we got a little bit of complications back there in the pits. I think we have a few more big tire to go. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure there's more to go. But we are just waiting now. I don't know what we're waiting for, but I haven't seen a car in the last, 10 minutes make a pass. But might be some complications down there. I'm not 100%. But so far, these are some fast ones. Willie Dynamite made a crazy hit. There's a bunch of other guys that are going quick today. So it's going good. It's great turnout. Here, check it out. That's the one thing I was always told here is when the night races start happening and the sun starts going down, it's absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't agree more. This is perfect. Perfect weather. You couldn't ask for no better racing conditions, to be honest. All right, so I just got word that was all for the big tire class. No more of that right now until the second round of eliminations start. Up next is the low budget class. I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what low budget is personally, so I guess just cheap builds. I don't know. So, but needless to say, it's going to be fast stuff. So that's up next. Low budget. Let's get into it. it's a Mustang, but it sounds insane. It's rear-mounted turbos. get into the late model class. I think it's kind of like a daily driver class, maybe a little bit more than daily driver, so it's kind of right there in the middle. This is the late model class. Got a little complication. This Corvette has a buy run. I don't think right lane knew that coming up here. So that Mustang's gonna have to go on back somewhere. Let this Corvette get his buy run going. Another really close race. Left lane takes that one. That was a really close one as well. Man, as the night goes on, you would think as it gets cooler and cooler, traction will get less and less, but these guys are freaking hooking down here. So that's good. And we are gonna keep going into the late model class. The guy on the right lane is the Camaro we saw both times at Wilkesboro. So that is it for all of the classes and first round eliminations. Up next, you're gonna get back into Big Tire second elimination. So that will be a good one to watch, so stay tuned.
Hey, I'm Michael Sigmund at Lease Tire and Wheel. We're more than just your average tire shop. Whether it's a big old set of mud tires, BF Goodrich TAKOs, Michelin LTX, our Falcon Rubitrex, or Falcon AT4s, we've got you covered when it comes to all of your tire needs at Lease Tire and Wheel. For the latest in technology and touchless alignments, we offer the best alignment service in Martinsville, Henry County, and surrounding areas. We are Martinsville and Henry County's largest wheel and tire dealer. Give us a call and ask us how we can come to you with our mobile service. You no longer have to come to Lee's Tire and Wheel to have your wheels and tires installed. We can come to you. Give us a call at 276-638-3240. Get it at Lee's Tire and Wheel.
You already know we double up at Autos by Nelson, and now we're taking it to the next level. You'll still receive double the warranty on all new vehicles, but now we're offering triple the peace of mind. With free towing up to 125 miles and no collision deductible at our body shop for any new or used vehicle. It's just one more way we're tripling up at Autos by Nelson. Do you know her?
Need more space? Foley Self-Storage has you covered. 24/7 access, because your schedule shouldn't revolve around storage. Top-notch security. Your belongings are safe with us. Climate-controlled units, perfect for valuables, furniture, and more. Locally owned and operated. Whether you're moving, decluttering, or need extra space for your business, Foley Self-Storage is the name you can trust. Call or visit us today, because your space matters.
Have you had an insurance claim? No problem. Fender bender? No problem. Need a tow? No problem. Kevin's Auto and Collision offers free estimates and can get you back on the road fast and affordable. Kevin's Auto and Collision is located in Collinsville, 2207 Virginia Avenue. For 24/7 towing, just call 276-732-0082.
In the world of cars, every missing piece is a roadblock to restoration. Introducing Scott's Classic Parts, the new haven for enthusiasts. Locally owned and operated with a treasure trove of hard-to-find parts and accessories. Hundreds of parts in stock, both new and used. Can't find what you need? Scott has you covered. For all your restoration needs, make a pit stop at Scott's Classic Parts. Scott's Classic Parts, where classic dreams become reality. So that is going to conclude the Big Tire second round eliminations. What you just saw was a buy run of that last Mustang. I'm not 100% sure what's happening next, but I will let you know as soon as I know. Had to switch out the fit. Got a little nippy out here. Somewhere down there got cold. Since we got a little time on our hands, I'm going to take a quick second to thank all of our sponsors. Again, we couldn't do any of this stuff without you guys, so run the clips.
Hey, I'm Michael Sigmund at Lease Tire and Wheel. We're more than just your average tire shop. Whether it's a big old set of mud tires, BF Goodrich TAKOs, Michelin LTX, or Falcon Rubitrex or Falcon AT4s, we've got you covered when it comes to all of your tire needs at Lease Tire and Wheel. For the latest in technology and touchless alignments, we offer the best alignment service in Martinsville, Henry County, and surrounding areas. We are Martinsville and Henry County's largest wheel and tire dealer. Give us a call and ask us how we can come to you with our mobile service. You no longer have to come to Lease Tire and Wheel to have your wheels and tires installed. We can come to you. Give us a call at 276-638-3240. Get it at Lease Tire and Wheel.
All right, we are back. We are going to get into second round elimination of 26 class. Got a S10 and a white Fox body up first. See what happens. So I'm all types wrong. I'm so sorry. What you